All right, maybe I will watch top 8. I don't know. A lot of people here, so we can all have a good old fashioned cozy top 8 watching stream. I kind of want to eat though. I'm only doing it because Baker's here, and I know Baker loves entertainment. If Baker wasn't here, I probably wouldn't do it. And color commentate. I mean, we can get in a call if you want. I don't care. We could do that. Okay. Let me do that. Let me set that up right now. I'm gonna turn down my own music. Are we friends? I think we're friends. Voice call.
All right.
What's up?
Am I muted?
No. They could. I could mute you. I could mute you at any time though, and then like you have to put on headphones. You can't do this. I can't hear this echo. You have to put on headphones or earplugs or whatever.
No, I can't hear you. I'm about 5 minutes behind the action. Let me refresh the stream.
Well, don't watch the stream. Just like log into
MTGO.
MTGO.
Like fishbowl over Discord. I don't know why. I can't hear what you're saying.
I don't know.
I hear you fine on the stream. Different inputs or something.
It should work. No, that's not how that works. You should just mute my stream and listen to the Discord. You shouldn't be listening to the Discord.
Suppression powered by Crisp.
All right, this might take a while. Stream people. No, it should work out.
Okay, I'm gonna have to unmute your stream and not speak so I can hear what you're saying. Okay, I'm gonna have to unmute your stream.
No, you have to put on headphones. No, you have to put on headphones. No, you have to put on headphones. It's kind of. Yeah, but he's only quiet because he is literally quiet. But I've turned him up on my end. That should be. All right, let's see this top 8. Okay, we'll watch. Damn, we'll watch the bag deck again. Kick him out. They're already calling for an insurrection here. It's USA all over again. We'll just watch the first match that comes up. I don't know. No, we'll watch this match. Takeout Tree against Stefan. Stefan is playing. This is just for betting too. Stefan is playing the Is It Tempo deck, and Takeout Tree is playing Green White Boggles. Again, we got the Baggles. I don't know what the records were. It doesn't really matter at this point. Again,
obviously the 4-0 is massively better than the 3-1.
I don't know what 4-0. I think the Green White. I think like it's something like Green White Cats. I think he went 4-0. Selesnya. But we'll watch this match here. So we'll watch Is It Tempo against Green White Auras. So go ahead and set your prediction if you are not a mod in my channel. We're just waiting for them to queue up. How have you been, Baker? Can you hear me now, or is it all your stuff set up?
I can hear you great now.
Good. You sound like you're in a cave. How's that going for you? No, you're just echoey. You're just like sounds like you're in a hallway.
Is that any better? I'm just in a rather empty apartment.
Ooh, that's way better. That's amazing.
Oh, I just brought it near my mouth and stopped eating. Probably
good. That's really good.
Crucial steps in production quality.
Now you're way loud. You was quiet. See, stream. He was actually the one that's quiet. So you should probably log on MTGO and just watch the game. That's easier than watching the stream because you'll be delayed on the stream if you want.
Yeah, I guess. But then how will I see the chat from the?
You have a separate window for the chat, so you just do both. You can watch the stream and watch. You can still watch the chat. All right. Do people bet? All right. Still 30 seconds to bet. Turn 1 Delver is already in play versus the Abundant Growth. I don't really like Abundant Growth.
How does this matchup go? So the way this matchup goes is that the blue-red deck can't use any of its burn on the creatures. So if they play anything that gives lifelink, the game is over. However, if they counter the thing that gives lifelink, they can burn to the face and win. Is that about the size of it? Is that all that's happening?
I think it's a very like
post-board blue-red might have a null.
Yeah, I mean, like on the blue-red sides, their interaction doesn't really work that well. But luckily, half it's like burn spells, so it just goes upstairs.
Yeah, but the whole way that blue-red beats a creature deck, if it does, is to kill the first couple of things, right? So I suspect this is just a disaster.
They have a main.
It might be that our Boggles is so bad.
No, they have a main deck Silver Knight, and
okay,
they have a main deck Silver Knight for matchups just like this.
In which case, I'm thinking that Sentinel's Eyes followed by. I mean, presumably this blue-red deck plays Mana Leak and Rune Snag or something, and one negate or something. Post-board has more negates or whatever. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a whole bunch of fucking crappy spells and some Sprite.
Ooh, I like this. I like Curious Obsession on the Sprite Dragon. That's pretty nice.
None of this really matters if they put an Ethereal Armor and a Sentinel's Eyes and a Life Gaining aura on that thing, but I guess they only have a limited amount of time to do that.
Yeah, because like they can't really like block flyers, so it'd be pretty tough for them to kind of just like get in.
Sprite Dragon is the kind of threat that actually matters. Oh,
okay, there's the Doom scenario. There's the Doom scenario. Yeah.
So Baker immediately they play 2 of the 3 cards they need to make this game completely unwinnable for blue-red.
You're actually a prophet. It's actually insane.
They just need the last one out. However, I suspect that if blue-red holds up a counter spell and plays the occasional ponder or whatever here, they can win the race.
Yeah, the Delver flipping is really good.
So it's just all about whether they can land a lifelink or not, which presumably they can't through a Curious Obsession-fueled blue-red hand. They're actually dead next turn as it stands if they don't resolve one, aren't they?
They do have 8 main deck ways of getting lifelink, so yeah, if there's like a mana
2 in hand now for a total mana cost of 4 or less.
If it was something like a Mana Leak, that'd be pretty bad.
How big is that thing right now? 6/6?
It's a 6/5.
6/5, so it would gain 9 life if they put or 8 life, 9 life if they put an armadillo cloak on it.
I think they can survive it, even if they like gained like 9 life. They could probably do a 14-point swing in some weird way.
Nah, if they resolve lifelink aura here, it's all over. If they don't, it's all over, but in the other direction. And as they're going to combat, I'd say it's all over because that Sprite Dragon's lethal, and they surely have no main deck ways to kill it. Maybe they have Griff Spoon.
No. I mean, Griff Spoon would be kind of dope.
Post-combat Griff Spoon? No.
Griff Spoon would be pretty great, but there we go. In the deck that they game 1. Let's see. Out the board. Start with green-white. I guess they could bring in... I don't know what they bring in. They really don't have like anything to bring in. Maybe like Slezzy Charm. Maybe like Spirit Mantle so they can't block. Or their guys just can't be blocked still. Silver Knight seems pretty good. They bring their Silver Knight against like the mostly red removal. The Izzet deck.
Just another thing they can't point their removal spells at.
Right.
Do they have a repeal or anything?
They have some repeals. They have like 1 repeal main deck. A couple negates. Static Caster. I mean, that really doesn't do anything. Rough with Tumble could be okay. If they can get them before the kind of like enchantment phase, maybe. Fortune Thief is kind of really funny. I don't know how green might kill the Fortune Thief. But
I mean, it might just be that although this is theoretically not a good matchup for blue-red, it actually is a good matchup for blue-red because blue-red is playing Ponder and Chain Lightning and Sprite Dragon and Delver of Secrets, and Boggles is playing Paradise Druid as the second Boggle. So it might just be, Might be true that the cards line up the way they do, but it doesn't matter because the
I didn't know that like Sprite Dragon was a fairy, and that opens up a lot of different decks. Like the Sign of Una is like legal, and like Fairy Vandal
I
likes
tried to
drawing
build
cards.
fairies and even fairy rogues, where every card is both a fairy and a rogue, with a couple of exceptions.
That's a
But
lot.
I
You can't pull that off.
can't quite bring myself to make it
I
to
mean,
actually even play it because the list just looks so anemic. Once you Pestamite is like not your worst creature, you're in a bad spot.
I love Pestermite though.
Do you? Oh
Yeah,
my
I
god,
love
I
Pestermite.
hate Fair Pestamite. It's so weedy. I played it in Gush, and it was good there, but everything was good in Gush because you had 20,000 cards. So you just needed something to do, really.
I mean, it's just good as like a flash creature. It can hold like something like a pike or something or some enchantment or artifact.
I keep
Like,
thinking of putting pikes in decks and then thinking how it doesn't synergize with Treasure Cruise and deciding not to do it.
oh, just don't play Treasure Cruise. That's really easy. All right, no one drops here, so it's pretty good. Slow start, but games tend to be slower post board. These people started playing.
No two drops is a bit rough, though. I suspect I know who's going to win this one.
When I have to do something to you like.
Oh my god, the Selesnya charm token. It's all over. Now we're going to suit it up. Big enough not to die to Chain Lightning plus Burst Lightning or something.
Why can't they make rooms? No.
Oh, there we go. Too little, too late. Oh my god, what a decision. I don't like splitting the eggs like that, do you?
I like putting all my eggs into the hexproof guy
Yeah, I mean,
because
what are we
they
fearing? Once
literally
you give the
can't kill it.
hexproof guy lifelink or trample or protection from creatures or whatever you're going to give him eventually, you want him to be as big
Yeah.
as possible.
Both guys are boggling though. I mean, Invisible Stalker with a Curious Obsession versus Glade Cover Scout and the Hiding Umbra.
This is another pair of cards that I've written down but not actually played yet this season.
This is hot. No, Stalker Obsession's great. I love
Yeah, I
it.
guess it's good. It's such a small amount of damage, but I guess
Yeah,
it
but
doesn't matter if you have
if you could
infinite
like,
cards.
if you just fuel other random nonsense, it's fine. Because it's just like a support player. And Invisible Stalker is quietly one of the best blockers ever. And especially in the late game where you're just kind of like racing and trading. It's like, you can't kill this guy. It's actually unkillable.
Yeah, he's a guaranteed jump block for a ground creature. I
But I
might be more
mean,
excited if we had like unstable mutation or something.
yeah, I haven't seen that card in a while. This is so surprising that this 3/3 Knight is just like alive. Like, there's no repeal, no chain lightning. I don't know if they've taken
I
them out.
wonder though if you do actually side out your burn on the basis that you want all your counter spells,
I
all
think
your
on the draw it could be a little
repeals,
worse, but on the
all
play
your
it seems
threats.
pretty great. Especially if you go like Delver, Sprite Dragon, get in there, then you just want to like go Dome.
Yeah, you might be
So
right.
I'm trying to like also trying to like do TO stuff. I don't know why nice people can like join each other.
I wonder. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, a chain lightning to the face is not a particularly exciting magic card against a deck that has about 8 main deck ways to gain life. Kind of like being the burn player against life gain or something, isn't it? Lava spike you. Here we go. Somebody's got lifelink. It is now my bold prediction that, except it's not big enough because it hasn't put anything on it.
Yeah. But I mean, this is a sad Sprite Dragon. The
It'd
Sprite
been
Dragon
better
can't
off
even
putting up
attack.
with a 3/3.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know how you
but
get out of this if you're the blue red deck. You don't have like mass bounce. There's no like even something like Displacement Wave wouldn't even do anything.
you
You
need
need
to
some
like ponder. You need to like ponder chain lightning and then attack with a
uh
massive sprite dragon. But
I guess you could just chump it. Now the
what
Sprite
is this
Dragon's a
guy
four
now?
four,
He's a 4/4
so it gets a two
flying
two.
big
So
trap.
that's not the worst.
I mean, Ethereal Arm is going to come down and end this game, right?
Maybe.
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen the blue-red player can't play a counterspell in nearly 2 whole games, so I guess they're just mostly like a kind of. I don't know why they're playing blue cards
I
because
wonder
they're
if this
like
deck
so
could actually benefit from
successful.
playing Heliod's Pilgrim. That'd be pretty great in this spot.
Yeah, it's a bit slow though for your like really good stance against
You know how much I love
decks
tutoring
that could.
though. Tutoring is just so good. Like when you get the thing you want, and then like
Yeah,
because then you can just like play all these like fun ofs. Like you
it's
don't play
nice to
like
have options
yeah you
for
don't want to
sure.
you don't have to play like 2 life links. You
Open
can
the
just play like
armory
1
is
life link.
legal again, and that's cheaper. Although obviously,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
doesn't
that's
provide a body.
that's really good
But
too.
sometimes you would happily pay 3 mana for whatever the good aura is called in this deck. I'm sure. What's it called? Ethereal armor.
With that,
I said sometimes you would pay 3 mana for
I would
a
pay 3 mana for
ethereal
Ethereal
armor.
Armor. Yeah.
Hmm. What are we doing? We're pumping this guy to 1 less than lethal, but the 1/1 is also getting through.
Why would they not just put the? I don't know. I know what's going
Why
on.
aren't they pumping the 1/1?
Okay.
Because
Okay, they're getting
because
mana.
what?
They're getting mana leaked anyway, so it doesn't seem to
Doesn't matter.
matter.
Well,
They're gonna. Oh, they're losing this Glade Cover Scout. This is not good.
no, it's got a hyena umber on it, so
Oh, it
I don't
does.
know if it matters so much. I'm just going to get smaller, which is bad, but they're so far ahead in the race that they're probably just going to win by attacking with completely shit dudes.
Maybe. Yeah. I think
I
like
mean,
the thing to draw is like Ethereal Armor for sure.
yeah,
It would make the
or
life
all the
linked
glitters,
thing.
or open the armory, or um anything.
Okay, so I don't like double clout on the Spray Dragon. Okay. Oh, they're casting it on the Invisible Stalker. So it has Shroud and Hexproof. If Hexproof wasn't enough, now it has Shroud, which means it can't.
They were worried they might accidentally chain lightning it.
Yeah.
Lost the curious obsession though, so
Yeah,
now
they
it's a
couldn't
2/2.
attack, which is sad.
Yeah, that's
And now they
bad.
can't add extra obsessions if they wanted
I think
to.
I would probably have attacked there even if I was dead if I didn't draw something.
Yeah, because you
On the
could draw
basis
like a
that I
chain
need to
light.
draw on the basis that I need to draw incredibly from here to win anyway. Yeah, that might be.
No, they're probably
Oh,
getting
wait. Why is he putting it on that one?
get ionized anyway.
Hard counters without double blue in it. Is that what that is? Is that a hard counter? I guess they're all just coloured costs, not.
It's just cancel with upside. No attack either. Wow, this is
Yeah, but I mean, normally a hard counter has double blue, but I guess it doesn't have double blue. It always has blue and at least one other coloured pip, like
everyone's
Psychic Strike.
everyone's pointing out what we all already know that like Delver plus Enchantments is really weird. There are 3 clouds and 3 obsessions in this main deck. So yeah, it is kind of hard to flip a Delver.
What is the red ability of Clout? Just to make you
It
big.
gets a haste.
Oh, haste.
Yeah.
Haste is kind of interesting. If you're wow,
Ooh, get Spell
spell
Pierce.
piercing. Is he going to then follow up with a mana leak?
I mean, it's just every spell grows the Sprite Dragon, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh,
And now
I
it's like,
see.
and now it's just like it's outpacing this Ethereal Armor, which should have probably gone on the life-linked Glade Cover Scout.
Yeah, some interesting choices here. So now
This
they
is
have one of it.
why didn't they just attack
The
with? I guess they're just worried about the knight dying, but why not just attack with everyone? The blue red deck's at 2, and there's 3 creatures versus 2, so at some point you
well,
just gotta
the
like
only
go
thing
for
is
it.
that I don't see the blue-red deck drawing out of this. Like, what does the blue-red deck draw to draw out of this?
You could repeal the knight. That'd be kind of a blowout, and then you just like
why aren't we putting all the glitters on our base guy so that we can actually attack?
all right, mana leak on the glitter. They're gonna pay for it, so there's less. There's still no tricks for the green white deck to do. Okay, they're gonna go.
This
They're
is
gonna
just
commit.
crazy.
Now they're committing
This
to
is
this
just
attack.
crazy.
Okay, they did it. They made an
So
attack.
now if he has repeal,
No, there's no reveal because they all had to do was attack. I think they had to
there was
attack 3
nothing
turns
better
ago.
about that attack than the previous turn's attack. Well, I guess there was. They took a card or two. They took a couple of cards out of their hand, but I mean, no, it wasn't. It was just one card, and they'd drawn a card. Anyway, whatever. Whatever. I told you Boggles was favoured. 1-1 that's my proof. It's 1-1.
Okay, we finally resolved the other match that can't even start for whatever reason. They can't fight each other. I don't know why, but that match is gonna go the longest, and we're also gonna not see it because it's a direct challenge. They had to direct challenge each other because neither of them can join each other's game in like
What?
really weird ways. I
That's weird.
think this might be weird and very awkward, but I think they might be one might block to each other the other.
Ah, that would make sense. That would make sense. And it's forgotten they did it long ago or didn't bother to retain the name.
But that's weird. If they block the other, now they're friends because you can only direct challenge someone through being buddies. So now I may have fixed the
And they've
problem.
undone it.
Who knows?
It will never happen again mysteriously. So true or false, Jimmy? You've not streamed for a while because you've been in high demand telling people how to do video on the internet because of COVID.
No, that's false. I just stopped streaming because I really got into WoW, and I'm still in the WoW, but it's like I just got behind on the format. So, and a lot of people were doing other videos, so it was really I wasn't teaching anyone.
Yeah,
how to
there
make
has
videos.
been a bunch this season.
Yeah, so the season's been really fun.
But it's not the same.
Yeah, just getting back into streaming was really tough for me because it's like getting back on a schedule when I was like away dealing with like a bunch of other stuff. So just like getting back on a regular schedule was really tough. But I'll probably put this top 8 on YouTube. I'm thinking about that. So we'll see. All right, turn 1 Delver. The blind flip is very
Crazy B
brutal.
has corrected me in the chat about the two saying the two turns were the same as each other, and apparently they weren't.
That's why we have chat, because they're always right.
If they had nothing, it would have put them to 1 and left them with 1 creature and you with 2 creatures, I guess. So.
Ooh, this is a curve. Delver, unflip Delver to Sprite Dragon versus the tap land.
Yeah.
I don't think you play tap. I don't think you even play tap lands. I
guess if Stefan has 2 counter spells in hand right now, then it's over. And if they've just got a bunch of meaningless twaddle, invisible stalkers and such.
Yeah, I think this deck also could have used Wooded Bastion over just like playing the tap land. The dual land, rather. I don't think that's really great. They flipped the Delver blindly. And now they're going to ponder. I don't even know. I don't think it really matters.
Just their only blue mana. If they don't play an island here, I predict Boggles is going to win, even though they look very far behind.
They definitely played a mountain. They revealed Reduce to Dreams, which is quite the card to reveal.
Oh, they've already played their land. Wow.
Yeah, they played them.
What?
This is a race.
They played a mountain and then they pondered. They've got 2 chain lightnings in hand already. No, they didn't cast anything here.
Yeah, I mean...
They played a mountain and then they pondered. This is not the top 8 I requested.
I mean, if they go like Ethereal Armor, Lifelink, the game's all different. Sentinel's not bad, but it doesn't really block anything.
Well, I mean, I'm slamming Lifelink Aura right here if I've got one. Because,
all right, Ethereal Armor and the Sentinel's. It's a 4/4 for striker. Another...
Yeah.
This is all just a setup for Armadillo Cloak. Yeah. But now if like
we know that Stefan doesn't have a counterspell in hand because
or they just
surely like wouldn't have
or they just
played a mountain and then pondered in that scenario.
Magic is hard. Sequencing is very hard.
Yeah, it's true. I've done many even more stupid things a million times.
I've seen you not play lands while having lands in play and still beating like
against the world champion.
That's a world champion, and you still beat him by missing your own land drop. Not on purpose.
There was a lot to think about. Like my regrets over what I took with my...
All right, here's the cloak that's getting Snap Smell Pierce.
It surely doesn't have a counter.
So he definitely countered
it. I'm wrong. Okay.
No, because I think he just took a turn off. Because he probably knows that like the only cards he's really worried about are like cloaks and like lifelink thingies. So he was able to take a turn off.
But knowing that as a land last turn,
knowing they had 3 tap lands, they definitely knew he had 3 tap lands. He just soul read him. I mean, sometimes you just get soul read. Yeah, he also could have found the spell pierce on Ponder, according to Crazy Bailoff, which is probably true. He's got to go for it now. There's no turning back. You just kind of have to go for this.
Yeah, He also didn't have an island and counterspell in hand, at least we can say that much.
And it looks like the blue-red tempo deck's going to take this mana leak. All right.
Wow. So
So
he really did play a mountain and ponder with
wow.
Counterburn,
Boggles
probably.
believers are losing out here. Crazy Battle's the only one on Is It Tempo. They're gonna take this prediction down.
Yeah, I think, well, blind flip of a Delver and,
They just
counterspells lining up.
they played the tempo game, make a threat, make
The
a threat.
card quality of the blue-red deck is significantly higher than the card quality of green-white deck. So,
We'll
although
jump.
apparently Evolving Wilds is in the blue-red deck, I guess
All
for
right.
Brainstorm.
All right, join I don't know how to say this name. K Cole versus Thy Shuffler. It's a mono red against green white, whatever. I thought it was a cat deck, but it's just a green white deck. This is
I
game
appreciate
2.
your ability to turn a really strange set of words into cake hole.
Kai Cole? I don't know. Kai Cole? But yeah, the green white deck's up a game
What's the
here.
record?
The green white deck's up a game.
And
Against
they
mono.
are crushing right here.
Well, not really. I mean,
There are
I guess...
19. They have the 3 biggest creatures on the board. Okay, not anymore. 2 biggest.
I don't know why
Red has no attacks after killing their best creature. This game and match is over.
You heard it. I don't know what to say now. I can't say anything. The game's already over.
5 cards in hand, the 2 cards in hand, the 2 best creatures on the board. Now the 3 best creatures on the board.
I assume that Scathing Berserker is a main deck.
Incoming.
Okay, this is a main deck. This guy is actually sideboarded. I don't know if you wanted to play. I mean, obviously the opponent doesn't know this, but the green white deck is literally 38 creatures, so I don't know if Scathing Berserker is that good.
So they just wanted a grey ogre with haste.
Yeah, this is game
with
2.
A sort of thin chance of becoming a 3/3. I'm going for the double block here, but yeah.
No,
this game is so over.
You can't win if you double block that.
Well, I don't think. You can't win.
Yeah.
In fact.
Well,
if every card off the top of your library is Chain Lightning from now until the end of the game, do you win? I don't think so.
I mean, they have to hope
you also have 3 Chain Lightnings in hand already, maybe, but I suspect that's not the case, as these Fleecemen Lions are still alive.
They have hope that they don't get the 5 mana, so the Fleeceman Lion doesn't get monstrous.
Yeah, but the Fleeceman Lion trades with anything in the deck if it's not monstrous. And in fact, cannot trade, it's too big to trade with lots of things.
This is why I don't like the current...
Suicide for about 2 damage, and then take,
Yeah,
10. Okay. Better than nothing. Burst Lightning, the Judge's Familiar, get in for 8 and renown your guy, die on the swingback.
Yeah.
So it's actually not dead on the swingback, it's to 2, so...
Well, I mean, SM Orc, they're just like sideways tap everything.
They chose the Familiar not to block. They've got a 1 or 2 damage spell. They've got a Spikefield Hazard.
Well, I mean, the Earthshaker Kendra can't target the Fleeceman Lions because Earthshaker Kendra has 2 power.
Oh, yeah. That's
and the Fleeceman has 3 power.
Yeah. Okay, it makes way more sense now.
All right, there's 1 down. Not targeting the one... Oh, but they're getting familiar here.
Wait, why shoot that one? Why not shoot the one that would leave your guy alive?
Well, none of it matters because they just sacrificed the familiar
to
counter it anyway.
I suppose so. Going to 2 next time.
I mean, we already determined that the game's already over. Now it's really over. So, I mean, like...
it wasn't just... The time it was least over was when they played 2 Earthshaker Kenra in a turn, and I forgot how it works. Yeah, well, in fact, I only learned just the other day how it works. I've been playing against it as if it makes something not block for I don't know how long. Several seasons.
We've all learned that you're not a mono red player.
Yeah, I know. I don't really ever play mono red. It's my enemy.
Honestly, I don't think Earthshaker is even the best 2-drop you could even play in that slot. I like Pyromancer more.
It's really good. It's really good against
there's just too much chocolate, really.
Opposing creature decks, whatever.
All right.
I think our red this season's very good.
All right. The last one's Alvaro versus Cuptuous.
Is that the DM one, or is that available to us? Oh, that's available.
Yeah, that's available.
I'm still starting MTGO. I have now successfully started MTGO over the entire duration of this call.
The Storm deck
I
here.
don't suppose I can see any of the matches. No, I can't. I can see a set roulette and a PD lead.
Oh yeah, you can't see all the matches. So I guess you have to watch my screen.
I mean, my computer can. I was thinking about actually using some of PD Bot's code to hack MTGO so I could stop having this frustration, but
I
It
don't even
sounds
know how
very
to look at it. PD bot. Have you looked at that code? I have.
yes. I have sat in a cafe in San Francisco with Caitlin as she explained to me how it worked, getting sadder and more frightened by the
It's
second.
scary. It's scary
When
for
we were
sure.
at some GP, I don't remember which GP, and
PD bot is a miracle. If no one ever
I
knew
said I
that,
want to sit down with you while we're in the same country. Oh, it was Vegas. It must have been Vegas. Although
yeah,
we
it's
were
definitely
both in San
Vegas.
Francisco for some reason.
PD
Was
bot
it
is
San
actually a
Francisco?
miracle
No,
on Earth, and
maybe it was LA.
no one can tell me otherwise.
Oh, PDBot is the greatest single thing in that Penny Dreadful has for sure. But it's painfully terrible in how it works.
All right, I don't.
It's
It
not
looks.
Caitlin's fault. It's Wizard's fault. But
Is there? I don't. No, it's Wizard's fault. She just made this program that it's constantly online, looking at every match it could. All right, the blue red deck has
originally it used a screen reader and it pretended to be blind, which was amazing.
that.
But now it doesn't.
That yeah, I don't know how that even worked. I don't even want to know how that even worked.
No.
By the way, this Storm player is just going all off.
Yeah, 5 life is about the time I'd like to storm off, I guess.
The blue red deck only has one card in hand. The only card it could be is Summary Dismissal, but no one plays Summary Dismissal. Nor I don't think it's illegal. Pretty sure it's legal though. Who would?
There's the 3-mana one that you have to pay for, Flusterstorm for 4 or whatever.
Whirlwind Denial, maybe.
I don't know if that's legal, but I don't think anyone's playing it. Although you haven't got anything else in blue red to fight Storm really, apart from like negate.
They're both legal. Whirlwind Denial and Summer Dismissal are actually both legal.
Down to 2 cards, but 3 cards, I guess.
All
but
right,
I
so
assume one of them is like.
All right, Summer Dismissal. Summer Dismissal. Get him. Get him. Doesn't look like.
Actually has the mana to cast another Tendrils. if this goes badly.
Storm's really good, actually.
I think it's probably insane, isn't it?
It just doesn't.
The two best rituals. It's got duress. I mean, it doesn't have like that kind of past in flamesy ad nauseum-y thing, but it's got frantic search and treasure cruise to make up for that. So I think it's probably like as good as Legacy Storm. No, it's not because of the mana, I guess, but it's very good.
I think
the trouble is people fucking hate playing against it, and I don't like to do that to people.
I don't care about people, one, but I think the real problem is that, and we were in matches to watch, but the real problem is that, I think there's like a lot of like really swingy matchups. Like Mono Red's really hard. Any heroic deck that plays like 4 Deafening Silence could be really tough. Like any him deck, if you go like turn 2 him, turn 3 him, like you have to have Treasure Cruise right there.
It's true. I have found playing combo this season that like if they're fairly dedicated,
so they're just
plan is pretty horrible for you.
But you can get like this dream bracket of like even like the mono blue tempo decks are like can be kind of nightmares too. If they just pack like 4 spell pierce.
Like Crazy B is making a good point. In past Penny Dreadful seasons, like mono red was your nightmare if you were Storm because you're a little bit slower than them. And like this season, it's so fast that mono red is buy. Like that is a really big boost on the usual power level of Storm Penny Dreadful. It's like a whole turn or more. I think it's probably really good. But like you say, Deafening Silence and 2/1s for 1. Probably a bad time.
Yeah, I'm hungry. This is usually part of the stream where I end and eat something, but I don't have like.
You can eat something. I'll talk over your stream.
No. Okay, you can. All right. I'll be right back. I'm actually gonna get a. You can talk. I don't know. Do you have anything? What game can you watch? Is there any games you can watch?
Oh, I see.
Like league games.
We'll wait till the quarterfinal starts and then leave.
No, then you can just watch it. Then you can just talk. You can just like make people. Sure. I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
True.
Well, can you watch any games right now? Because I gotta do something.
I can just cast aspersions on your headwear for 20 minutes if necessary.
No. Are you gonna play in the PD 500?
Yeah, Are you gonna be the MC again?
I have to do a lot of things. I mean, obviously I'm gonna have to help run it, and we have to play. So I mean, of course we're gonna play. It's a free roll.
Well, I think my favorite bit of PD 500 last time was your initial announcements and everybody's insane level of emoji on them, and I just took a screenshot of that and sent it to Hard
Yeah.
Hoarder and said like,
I don't. Are you?
"Wee."
We haven't talked about like advertising yet. Are you gonna do that?
It's
Or do we
it's in
do
like a
like?
week. I haven't done
Yeah.
anything about it. Yeah, we there's been a bit of chat on Discord,
I
but
know. I know we've
I
been all.
basically I is as with all software, I started a project of work that was meant to be done by end of December, but worst case end of January. And here comes end of January. So I'm not
Right.
really thinking about much apart from that.
No. No. I figured you were busy, so we have to just appoint someone else. Crazy bailout. to the write the you need to write up. Crazy bailout. That's up
Yeah,
to
I mean,
you.
we should be announcing it at each tournament, I guess, is one
Yeah.
thing we should be doing so that at least the tournament players know.
Yeah. How about one of the
But
new mods, Patty or Crazy Bailout? They should probably
yeah,
make a write
people
up.
should just talk it up in Discord and we'll get there.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
do them.
I have no comprehension of whether we've like done such a bad marketing job that we'll get 17 people or if it'll be like even bigger than last time. No idea.
No.
Somewhere in that range.
If we start now, it should be fine in
It's only
terms of
9 days,
like.
but yeah, yeah.
By the way, we're not commentating this match. I just put it on for background noise. It's mono black versus some sort of green deck. It's a league match. But yeah, if someone else could make a
If
write,
they
I
can
could probably make a
animate.
write up. We'll just type it in Discord right now. Um, need.
I haven't looked at the Reddit subreddit for a while. Is it still rocking?
Yeah, I mean, people make stuff. I haven't posted much. People have been like slowing down on like video content, but there. I just put in the admin chat. Yeah, that's kind of the plan. Let's just sit down and do it. Man, I'm hungry. Okay, I really need to get up.
Have you heard my new plan though?
Now, what's that?
So Sam Black charges $100 an hour for magic coaching, or
Why?
$75 an hour if you you let him stream him coaching you. So like for more content for his stream. Wow, this game is really over now. And so what I thought was, I'll hire Sam Black to coach me, Penny Dreadful.
How's he going to coach you in a format he doesn't know about?
Well, his stream today and yesterday is literally reading the Kaldheim spoiler and trying to figure the format out, and he loves it and he's really into it. So I think it's just the same thing. What we really want to do is find someone who doesn't know anything about Penny Dreadful, so that it's not duplicitous in any way, and have them hire Sam Black to teach them Penny Dreadful for $75 an hour. I just think it would be. I mean, his stream is not super popular. He's only just started and everything, but he is fucking Sam Black.
But he's Sam Black, so it's just
Gonna be
like,
there soon
yeah.
enough. Yeah.
Let me look. It's the only time where I'm going to be bigger than Sam Black, but let me look real quick. Um, what's his Twitch handle? Do you know?
Samuel H. Black. He currently has 231. I
Oh,
don't
he's
know if that's
live. He's
subs or
live right
viewers.
now.
Yeah, he's been live for ages.
Oh,
Kaldheim's just come out. So yeah, yesterday he sat with a Google Docs spreadsheet.
no, he's bigger
open
than
in
me
front of
already.
him,
He's already
theorizing.
he's
the
already a
format.
partner. He's probably been a partner forever. What are you talking
Well,
about?
there you go. So what I'm
He's
saying is, it's for $75 or maybe $150. We can get a sweet ad for Penny Dreadful.
wow, he has long hair.
That's got to be the best $150 we could spend on marketing, hasn't it?
Yeah, but we need like you said, we need a total like noob to
Yeah,
just
it'd be
like
weird
sign
for
up.
essentially me to be teaching him about the format while he tries to coach me. That would kind of, he probably wouldn't be up for that. I don't know. I might approach him. What he has told me is that he is willing to be paid numbers of dollars that are less than 1,000 to do things on his stream. And so I want to take that information and use it to our advantage, but we'll see if it works out. I might just email him or message him or something and just ask. I already asked on his Discord and he did reply.
Who would pay for coaching? Would you pay for like just seriously? Would you actually pay for MTG coaching?
I would not at this time in my life, but there was definitely a time when I was a bit more PTQ-ish when I thought about it.
Is there?
Because I mean, if you think about it, right? Like, when you play chess, right? You play chess these days with the computer, and it tells you 5 milliseconds after you've made a terrible mistake that you're a fucking idiot, right? Now, you win some of those games, right? You hang your knight and it gets taken, or they don't notice, or whatever, right? The equivalent of that for MTG must just be insane. I mean, obviously, it doesn't exist, right? But in theory, it could exist. And like, you must make a mistake like every turn in Magic, like multiple times a turn once you've got a few mana. And like, just to have someone sit on your shoulder going, that was done because of this, would probably make quite a big difference to your game. I don't know. I no longer care about being any better than I am. If my elo on Penny Dreadful starts dropping to 1600 or something, I'll invest.
I think my question, like, not my. I understand there's a lot of like coaching in Magic in general, which is great, but why would you pay for it if you just had like someone else that was slightly better than you? Like, maybe,
I think the dream version is that you have a squad and you all help each other and you tune your decks and I've definitely sort of been in that kind of, although you always end up with like people that are like basically casual or actually terrible in your group, or just will only play one deck or whatever. I don't know. I've never really like, I think LSV and Raptor and Ochoa and everybody, they did a thing that made them all really good, but they were kind of lucky to find each other.
All right, I'll be right back. Let me just give me like a minute.
Pretty sweet acidic time.
I'll be right back. I really need to get something to eat. My stomach is like killing me. Be right back.
Yeah, do it.
This was crazy. Yeah, they got acidic slime there. I was like, oh no. After the turn 2 demon.
Yeah, I mean, it's just basically, can they draw something with reach? Draw something with reach and you'll win this game. Sylvan Primordial has reach. Seems like the kind of thing one might be rocking in mono green ramp. No cloud posts to be seen. That's an interesting choice. It's a very interesting choice. I don't think they have. Do they have any card draw? They have Call of the Herd or something to keep the demon tapped a bit. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously tremendously precarious for black here, but it's only 3 hits. I guess it's like at least 5 combat steps. So I guess that was probably a game-winning acidic slime. Yeah, put the factory on top. No, they didn't. Why? Why gain 7 life? Come on. Oh my god. You think you're a land destruction player, and then you gain 7 life. Motherfunking heck. Oh, missed the trick there. Maybe they've got a plow under that's rotting in their hand and they need them to draw a land so they can plow under. Could be. Could be. Could be. Wow. Failing to attack for 2. Oh, that's brutal. I have to say, Magic Online does not make that easy.
All right. It's now a yogurt eating stream because I have yogurt.
Nice. Good stuff. I have goat's yogurt in my fridge. I imagine it will be there until the fridge breaks down and everyone on Earth dies because it's disgusting. But,
yeah.
I went through a book of healthy shit and bought everything in it, basically. And like the ones that are really terrible, I still have.
That absolutely sounds like you. That sounds like something you would do. I mean, what did you get?
Oh my god, so many fucking things. Shredded coconut, cacao nibs, butternut squash. I don't know, just so many fucking things.
Well, you have to like the taste of them.
Yeah, basically everything was bad. Nuts are good, but then nuts aren't that healthy, are they? Make you fat pretty quickly.
Yeah, I like butternut squash. I think it's good if you cook it right.
Yeah, I've been cooking a lot lately due to an attempt to become healthy. It is very boring and I'm not very good at it. But, I'm just living on plants. Plants and protein. in my little COVID world.
I think diets are just about
I now live on my own as of November the something, so
yeah.
I'm truly in a bubble of one now.
Diets are really just
Going
about like
crazy.
what you can withstand, basically.
The trick I have found is that I just don't buy anything that's not good for me, and then I just stand in the kitchen in the middle, of, 9 o'clock at night, thinking I'm not hungry, but I want to eat ice cream or some shit, and there just isn't any,
You
and
shouldn't be
that's
eating
that.
at night. You shouldn't even be eating at night, like
No, well,
past like a
that's
certain
when
time.
willpower is lowest, right? Like in the daytime, I'm perfect,
You take it?
intermittent fast and everything and everything, but then
Do you take it like
nighttime,
supplements or anything
just
like
like
that?
I need a fucking chalk ice. Oh, you don't have chalk ices in this country. What do you call chalk ices? I don't know what you call chalk ices.
Do you have any
Things
like?
like
Do you take any like, supplements or anything?
no, because I'm eating so many fucking healthy things
Well, no. I mean,
constantly.
like, there's things that like I take like apple cider vinegar gummies, and it helps you
I
suppress
so
your
I have
appetite.
I have a large bottle of the mother apple cider vinegar in my cupboard, which is one of the things that I haven't even tried yet from the list of healthy things
Do you
because it
have
looks so rank.
do you have like pills or do you have what form do you have that in?
It's a liquid.
Oh God, those are terrible. No,
Yeah,
no. Get the
it just
pill.
looks
Get the
like it's going to
gummies.
be.
Get pills
Looks
or
like it's going
gummies.
to be.
They're way more palatable.
Yeah,
They
but
help
then
suppress
it's
your
probably.
appetite a bit.
Oh, okay.
Um, Also, a big thing I do is more of a willpower thing. Is if you ever get hungry, just drink a lot of water. Just continually drink
Well,
water.
I
So
have been for the last several years been drinking 2.5 liters of water a day, which is what 80 fluid ounces.
just,
So I
just drink
am
more. Easy. Just keep drinking
thoroughly
more.
down with an enormous amount of water going into my body.
Yeah.
I have had kidney stones 3 times, but I have not
Oh.
had them since I started drinking 2.5 liters of water a day. Well, this was a brutal game.
Top
Involved.
fours. Yeah, top four's already started, so we'll get that going.
All right.
Um,
So I
all
should
right,
be able
we'll
to switch over to.
watch.
What
Do you
have we
want to
got
watch
on
Woodgorger
screen?
Dragon against Storm? That seems terrible.
That'll be a very long Storm turn if Storm wins, or a
We'll
fairly
watch the other
long.
match, which is the blue red tempo deck against the green white 38 creature deck. So it's gonna be Thigh
Yeah, I'm
Shuffler.
interested to see Green White doing well, which I think is
Yeah. So we'll
kind
do
of
that. We'll
weird.
do a quick prediction. This will be a 1 minute prediction. Be really quick. It's a tempo against green white little kid. It's basically a little kid deck. So you have about 1 minute to submit. You have 1 minute to
So
make a
this is.
prediction.
I'm theorizing that the fact that some of the little kid cards have 4 toughness might be problematic for blue red, but
I agree with that, but I think a big green problem is flyers. So if you get an early like Sprite Dragon,
there
it's gonna be over.
I guess blue red can kill the birds or whatever, and you're right. Flyers are probably a big issue for a white green deck.
All right, 40 seconds
It does
left. Chat
play.
to predict.
Okay, so first creatures get encountered. Oh, is Lockstorm thingy
Well, you can't.
uncounterable?
Yeah, you can't counter a smiter. That's for sure.
Yeah. So this, if he's got any sense, this is a smiter or something that he doesn't mind getting countered. Yeah, there we go. The opposite plan. Wow.
Ooh, repeal
What?
on the birds. I don't know how you feel about that.
That's the coast is clear for your 3/3 now. I guess it was anyway.
Yeah,
But
you can get a fleecy DC here. Wouldn't be too
yeah,
bad.
it seems like. So now you're just trying to fade chain lightning. Even if they chain lightning, it's the whole turn. But
I would
well,
love the chain lightning.
Island chain lightning Delver would be pretty sick.
Yeah.
Or I guess they don't even need the island because they can play the chain lightning first, and they won't sack familiar. That's an interesting choice. I guess.
They might just don't have another play. Yeah.
No third land, no creature yet.
I can imagine cards like
What would you
Spell
have in your hand?
Pierce. Probably like Spell
Spell
Pierce.
Pierce, Curious Obsession.
Yeah, just cards that just don't
Maybe
do
like
anything.
Stalker. Although if you had Curious Obsession, you would play the Stalker. So here comes a beefy mother and blue. Oh no, I'm wrong. Here comes a double white card.
And there's 4 candidates
We
main
should kept
deck.
your burst lightning for that.
Oh, there are 4 candidates main decks. Oh no.
Sort of
Oh,
hate
it
bears,
is.
not just.
This deck is
Not
so
just
ready for the
little kids.
finals. This Leslie deck is just tuned for this finals. Oh my goodness! Because on the other side is World Quarters Dragon against Blue Black Storm. So
Yeah,
that'll
I
be
mean,
the winner of this
all of
match.
that stuff is like specifically white. What's green giving here? It's giving you birds and like just beefy dudes.
Okay, I just want to like name. I think saying this kid deck is located is a lot weird, but I just want to start naming the random name deck cards in this deck. All right,
Mm,
Everstorm Canonist, Keening
nice.
Apparition,
Wait, what is that? It's
Kataki.
destroy an enchantment.
Yeah, Katataki.
Wait, Kataki's in the main, or
Yes,
just the
Katataki.
what?
Loxodon Hierarch, Bronze-Hide Lion.
I
Like,
like Loxodon Hierarch a lot
ju-
because it's a good starting
this,
point for beating
this
red.
deck is hate bears. This deck is actually just hate bears. I didn't really look at it.
Kataki in the main. Nobody can be anything except hate bears if you're playing Kataki in the main. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, the Canonist Katataki combo is for real. That is a real combo for sure.
Look, those cards shut down different things, so you just play out whichever one is actually useful here. And if you're
Yeah.
kind of stumbling together some crappy 2/2s against
I
control, then
I
so be
actually
it.
like this idea though. Just like I mean, hate bears is kind of a thing that never
We've
really
had kind of
happens in things.
Orzhov hate-ish bears with Tideholiday
Yeah.
Sculler and him, right? And it's done really well
But these are like
because of him.
specific.
But
This is like
this deck is a deck that mostly doesn't work usually because
you don't just play 40 key in the apparition in your deck and be like, yeah, I'm
wait, what
down.
is Killing Apparition sacked to destroy an enchantment?
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's the
So it's Silver Chase Fox or none of
yeah,
those other.
it's oh you mean Ronom Unicorn? Ronom Unicorn?
Well, this Sprite Dragon won't be getting big fast unless there's a burst lightning.
Oh man.
Are we going to ponder for our only move?
Oh, Clout. Cloud of the Dominus, I
We're
like
gonna
that.
clout. That's pretty big.
Yeah, it's Shroud
I don't
Haste.
know. I don't know how we're outracing that as green white. I guess a hierarch, a smiter here is what you want. Because there's an obvious counter spell on the other side. Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
there's said Smiter. So
All right.
oh no instant.
Yeah, that's awkward.
Okay.
Wow, main phase brainstorm.
I would have kept that.
Play this turn. What
I would have kept that
shit?
end phase brainstorm unless they really have another counter. But if they played another
maybe
Smiter,
they're tapping out for a bunch of creatures or something.
well, that's the plan.
I don't know. We're in a full-on race situation, folks.
Dude, and Smiter's pretty great against him. There's like different pieces of these different decks that will just hate on another deck.
Yeah, I mean, I love this idea in theory, and in practice, it's usually terrible, though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, then you draw just like all birds and like things that are died to black decks first, and then while you're drawing like Canonist and what nonsense and Keening Apparitions. All right, this is getting ionized. I like ionize here because it deals 2 damage. So now, like any burn spell, just wins right here.
Ionize is a pretty feeble card, but yes, this is
Burst Lightning to the dome.
Yeah.
Game 3.
This deck looks a lot better when it has a Sprite Dragon that doesn't get killed than when it doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Tempo decks in a nutshell. You really just need like threat plus disruption.
But like a Delver doesn't win that game. You know, it's not a fast enough clock.
I don't know.
Maybe it does. I don't know. Maybe
I think it does. Like it just like Sprite Dragon with the cloud. Is just, like, huge.
I guess Sprite Dragon only attacked for like 5 last turn.
Yeah.
So it's not that much more than 3. And it probably attacked for less than 3 the first time. Anyway, I don't know. Delver doesn't always flip though.
There's literally just like one non-creature spell in the main deck, which is Vivian's Arcbow. It's a 1/of.
Yeah,
I guess you want to call Balagad
so they basically can't do anything if they don't draw hate bears that are relevant to the matchup.
I guess you can call Balagad Recovery. Balagad Recovery is kind of a non-creature spell. What's that?
Do they kill? Can they kill anything? Do they have like Fiend Hunters or something?
No. Actually.
So if you make a Desecration Demon, you completely block them until they start sacking things to it, and they have to pay a whole card.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if you're playing 38 creatures, you could probably pay for a Desecration Demon tapping ability. Every creature, you just tap it a turn and you just get in. So.
I mean, it's a 0 for 1, right?
I will also say that this game, this green-white deck is actually undefeated all the way to the top 4. Here.
Is it not playing Avacyn's Pilgrim?
No.
It's interesting. I mean, 8 dorks is a lot for sure, but it's difficult to build a birds deck with only one birds. You know, you
Tier 2 Fleets main. I think it's a tap land. So the only game, it's
not
only
so
lost
much
one
chain lightning
game.
action.
It's only
Might be
lost two
time for a chain
games.
lightning.
The deck's only lost 2 games, and it's both to this tempo deck. The same player, too. So it's pretty interesting that we're still going to game 3.
Starting off with the turn 2 ponder is looking up for green white.
This is a 1 of Swiftwater Cliffs, by the way. They got really unlucky.
What are the
And-
rest? Fumaroles?
No, there's no
Evolving
Fumaroles.
Wild for Brainstorm.
Yeah, there's 3 Evolving Wilds, 1 is
No
Boilerworks.
Fumaroles, but Swiftwater Cliffs. The classic.
Yeah. Hey, that life could be necessary here. You never know.
I mean, it's probably not never relevant.
All right, more 3/3 cats for 2. This time Bronze-Hide Lion, which is like,
That's just Fleece Mainline with different words, right?
yeah, just Fleece Line with extra steps, basically.
It's actually slightly better than Fleece Mainline, isn't it? No, maybe it isn't. It's different.
Well, it does different. They do different. I mean, wow, this thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you're going to kill one here, you'd kill Fleece Mainline, though, and so we
Right.
do.
Actually, I don't mind the blue-red position here because
Well, green white missed a land drop, right?
right.
That's they may if they had played a 4/4 last turn, they're struggling a bit. Well, at least they're using their mana, I guess.
Yeah.
Not just stuck with 3 drops in hand.
Yeah,
And they have way the better board. So now Stefan's either going to have to grow a Sprite Dragon quickly. He's also missed land drops, so not very likely. Or kill these things. Kill the 3/3 at least.
Main phase Brainstorm.
There's only
look
like
too good.
3. Yeah, he's looking for a land. If he doesn't hit one here, he's locked, and this game's over. Chain Lightning on the line's nice, but if he...
Now he's got a burst lighting the birds, which is, I think,
yeah, keep us both in this hellish state. He's got to draw 2 non-lands off the top here, and he clearly doesn't have a Chain Lightning. Wow, that is a terrible sideboard card to bring in. Why?
But Deafening Silence?
Why?
I mean, if you're already playing candidates, you're just kind of doubling up on it, I guess.
Yeah, but he's brought that in for game 2. Like it doesn't attack, it doesn't block, doesn't stop them casting counter spells, it doesn't stop them casting creatures. It's what does it even do? It doesn't do anything. It stops them playing Git Probe on the same turn as Ponder or something. I see Deafening Silence against me all the time, and it is almost never.
Yeah, tell him.
Correct.
Let him know. Let him know what's up. Let him know.
Although I will say that I thought it was really stupid of
get snapbacked.
Free, but he's just going to replay it because he's missing his land drop.
I would have traded. I would have actually traded there.
Really?
Yeah, maybe.
You've got a lot of things that trade with a 2/1. I think you need the Sprite Dragon to get big.
I guess it's the early route to victory.
You probably needed to trade with Bronze-Hide Lion, frankly. Although that can get indestructible, so it's not much of a trade there.
I guess if you have a Chain Lightning
if you get up to 4/4, it's fine.
Yeah.
They don't have a Chain Lightning, obviously, because they know.
Ooh.
Have they now drawn their second non-land off the top?
Wait a minute. This is probably a Chain Light. Oh, the Cloud.
No,
they're gonna
there's
cloud.
no way.
They're gonna cloud the Sprite Dragon. It sounds like a 5/5, biggest thing on the field.
Yeah, I like it. They're in a good spot here. They've got great blocks for this board.
We got a game. This is actually a game now.
Somebody's going to have to draw a land.
Selesnya Guildmage.
Old school.
We were doing it. It's a 1-of.
Mythic uncommon draft.
This thing was
the only reason to be in Selesnya in the entire of old Ravnica.
Yeah, this thing is actually kind of nuts.
Well, it's terrible here though, because they need 4 mana before it's anything other than a bear, and they've missed 5 land drops now. Okay. Well, yeah, if they hadn't played Deafening Silence, they'd have another creature.
It's not silencing much because they're only playing 1 spell a turn anyway, so they missed a couple land drops.
They've missed 5 land drops, which is a lot. Oh, Smiter, so they have no other 3-drops in hand? Because you wouldn't play a Smiter into tapped out, would you? Or would you?
Well, it's uncounterable, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'd try and sneak out my 3-drops that might get countered there, probably.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, we drew a land. We're happy not to flip our Delver.
They needed
Just
a
need to cast.
creature, honestly. They
Just need to cast a Ponder and then a Brainstorm.
Okay.
It's gonna be fine.
They're probably holding Mana Leak now, I would imagine.
Yeah, which is why I like. Maybe they just got multiple Smiters. And we're just gonna see like Smiter, Smiter, Smiter. That'd be beautiful.
Well, it's a big what do you call it? When you just like miss land drops and you have that third, like, okay, now I'm playing with 3-drop, but I use all my mana
If you play anything
usefully.
other than a Smiter here, you're just letting them use their spell and grow both their Sprite Dragons. I almost prefer doing nothing to casting anything other than a Smiter. Am I foolish? Probably. You can't really win that way. Well, it's a shit enough card that you don't care if it gets countered, I guess.
It's just another guy, but I mean, it's not really a big
Hate
guy.
birds.
Yeah.
Hate birds.
Okay, they're gonna
What are they repealing?
They're repealing the
Dryad
Dryad Militant, I guess.
Notice they didn't go for Deafening Silence. End of turn.
Repeal has many uses, yes. This is not the one they chose to use.
What are we going to see here? A Dryad Militant. Pass the turn. That
Probably
bird is actually not terrible, given the level of mana screw on both sides. It will actually be a meaningful card, I guess.
Keening Apparition, we did it.
Yes, can destroy their own Deafening Silence, all the clout of the Dominus at will. Perfect.
It does have a target. There are targets on the field.
That is not a strong card. What are they worried about that they're playing that in their deck?
Astral Slide. Basically just for Astral Slide.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Astral Slide, Armadillo Cloaks, I don't know. These Delvers flipped. I don't know what that showed. Let me just look real quick. Mana Leak.
Sprite Dragon becomes a 4/4 if we kill the... Oh, Animate Dead's a good shout.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Animate Dead's really good call.
That's a good one.
Upstairs? Is it upstairs? No, it's gotta hit the...
No, it's the Guild
Mage. Ooh. Think about the late game.
Yeah, I know why, because like they're just going to fly over for the win real soon now, aren't they?
Why didn't they just hit the flyer and just attack with everyone?
I would have
16?
hit the lion.
No, probably because you die next turn.
I would have hit the lion.
I think you definitely... Ooh, I would
have The life total discrepancy is keeping blue-red cautious, but really they're quite far ahead here, aren't they?
Yeah. There's like an advantage bar. It's kind of
they've got like 16 power that's barely blockable. And they can, they've got the biggest creature on the board and it currently has Shroud. Although, it can be taken away at a moment's notice. Yeah, well, I'd like some of these choices, though, although...
I like the idea.
I don't know if Slesnia Guild Mage is really the card for the turn 3.5 Storm deck format. What
if you just had a deck of like 4 mid-deck Deafening Silence and then just the rest creatures instead of playing the Canonist? I would like that.
Nah, Deafening Silence is a terrible Magic card against anyone who is not playing Storm, right? Like, if it stops you from playing a Git Probe for a whole turn, right, that's not a card's worth of value, is it?
Mana Leak and Smiter is big. It's a big deal here. It just adds another counter to the Sprite Dragon.
To get bigger, that's
yeah, it's actually huge. It's actually huge because the 4/4 actually does not matter.
Right. So now, it's even attacking with 2 4/4s, you just
any burn spell. Any burn spell on the Judge's Familiar wins here.
Yeah, tapped out. Repeal wins.
Yeah, but they had to repeal that Dryad Militant, remember? That Militant had to go.
I mean, they wanted to see more cards because they're missing land drop. I mean, the level of land drop missing, it's turn 10. Both players have made 3 land drops, despite one of them playing Ponder and... Did they play Brainstorm? No, not this game.
Despite I think they should have attacked. Ponder. I think they should have attacked with a 4/4 flyer or like a 3/2. I think you have to start like pressuring your opponent at some point.
But do they? I mean, what pressure are they under here? I guess there could be like an overrun in this deck.
They've played each other once
Maybe.
before this tournament, so like a Shalai. Like now you can't like dome them, but you have to counter this. All right, Mana League. They have the familiar to pay for it.
That's approximately. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you
Oh
can't
no,
really.
they have the one to pay for the familiar. You mean yeah? So
Yeah.
that's almost game, isn't it? I mean, it's not
It's
quite, but I'm
close.
tempted to attack with at least a Delver or something here. I don't know. You don't want to die to a Selesnya charm or a fucking whatever when you know, like it's not like the green white deck is drawing to a whole bunch of shit that's going to win them the game. Eventually, your sprite dragons are both going to be lethal, and you can attack with both with the counter spell.
They have another Shalai. Oh, it's a hierarch. See, well, these are the little things
Not an
like
exciting card, but
yeah,
still
and
worth countering.
all the mana leaks. They've run out three
Tapping the
mana leaks in
red,
a
just
row.
tapping the red as if to say there's absolutely no fucking way there's a burst lightning in my hand whatsoever. But there might be a brainstorm. I don't know.
Well, they've already cast one spell. They can't cast another one with the Deafening Silence.
Oh, well, that was
That's their one spell.
yeah. Good
All
point.
right, Delver.
Magic is hard. Let's attack with something.
Stalker.
Let's
Okay.
attack with something. Let's
See how
attack
good
with a 10/10.
see how good Stalker is now. Now can you actually get in or just block a 4/4, and they can't do anything
Stalker's
about
not
it.
good here. It's fucking
Stalker's
terrible.
Stalker's amazing here. It's actually the guy is guaranteed to live.
Would you play one of the blues, do 1 damage to your opponent, or to gain 4 life? Because I wouldn't.
Yes, the answer is yes to both things. Yes, absolutely. All
Interesting
right,
that
the
we
Delvers
went
get in
Delvers. I did think
finally.
a Delver or two should be getting in.
Yeah, two Delvers got in. I
There's
think
no ounce here for green white, is there?
they're sensing blood in the
Ensnaring
water.
bridge.
All right, so Wargolder Dragon 1 on the other side, 2-0 for Blue Black Storm.
Oh, we're not going
Ooh.
to get to see the mighty hate bears with their keening apparitions fucking up some animate deads. That's a shame.
That would have been a pleasure, but I think it's gonna be the Izzet deck, but it's close. We'll see.
I think that will be an interesting matchup, right? Like Manly can spell pierce and actual threats that don't cost 9 are all fairly
Another
decent
another
against
blind
World Dragon.
flip shows Treasure Cruise.
Might as well draw 3 cards
Yeah, why
just to
not?
be absolutely certain I have no combat tricks before deciding to attack with.
So they're at 18. They can't attack with everyone right now. Actually, hold on. 7. Yeah,
No,
they only have
it puts them to 1.
17.
Puts them to 1 if they attack with all.
Yeah, and they can't really
And
afford to
they
it.
do
So
die on the swing back. Yeah, Hyrule already gained its life. Its sacrifices to. You
they
can't
haven't.
cast more spells.
I mean, unless it's more invisible stalkers.
But it's like, yeah, that's true. But that's exactly how much of a punishment Deafening Silence is. About 12 turns after it came down, it stopped them doing one not important thing after they treasure cruised.
Oh my god, another familiar. It's actually so big. The familiar is like, because if they just attacked the Del before, then this would have been a lot different story. But they decided to do nothing. So now the
KZV
familiar.
thinks Loxodon Hierarch's ability is relevant here because it means that they could swing out and only sack Loxodon
Well,
Hierarch.
that's not the
But
case
they just
because they
made
tapped
another
out.
creature.
Yeah,
Yeah.
instead they made a Fleecebane line.
It's an
So
interesting point, though, isn't it? Like,
mm,
the big creatures block the 4/4s, and then everything else is a trade. It's not awful for green white. Maybe it would have been a better plan than just making a 3/3. They have 2 chump blockers for the massive guys now as well, which also makes it complicated. Maybe there's hope for green white. I mean, they only need to get.
this is getting close. In a really weird way, but it kind of now this is like the part of the game where
So this
you
is
have to
where
kind of
everything except the judge's familiars
yeah.
attack, right? You regen with the hierarch. Your hierarch, your smiters bounce, but you've got a 3/3, a 2/2, a 3/3. That's it, though.
Yeah, I think if you're
They could just.
the blue red deck,
Yeah,
you have to
this.
attack. You actually have to attack.
Oh, yeah. You want to get in a position where, like,
Like the blocking the
A
sprite
three
dragons
out
don't
will kill.
matter. Yeah. Because you have an unblockable guy, you have to think about that. And more flies in your opponent.
I mean, this is 8 creatures against 5 blockers, so it's an absolute guaranteed 4 damage in this attack right now. I mean, if they draw something relevant, and the card in hand for Stefan isn't Burst Lightning.
But what could they draw? Like, I guess I don't know.
Attack with all does 4 damage here. And oh no, it doesn't, because Hierarch dies if
Yeah.
you want to keep your creatures like, yeah.
Right, because you have to like present lethal in a meaningful way to get meaningful blocks, but they really can't propose pose anything.
It's tough for green white here because it's the usual thing. This is like a game of limited, right? Where your opponent's on flyers. You know, if you don't overpower them, then they're just going to do the chump a few things and kill you in the air plan, aren't they, over a couple of turns? And that's exactly what's happening. That's why one life till it is going down and the other one isn't. I do wonder if the right strategy is attack or sack Hierarch here. Or attack or wait and see how you block and maybe don't even sack Hierarch. I mean, not the Judge's Familiars, I guess. Then you're only getting very little amount of damage, but you probably kill an Invisible Stalker and an unflipped Delver and a Delver.
It depends on what's on their
For your
hand.
Hierarch, which isn't doing anything
Yeah.
anyway if you don't attack.
If they had another Hierarch in their hand, I'd like attack with everyone, actually.
Dryad Militant first. Okay, they're just Canonist. You cannot cast shit, friend. Oh, no. Of course, they may not have seen Crazy Bailiff line, in which case they're just going to die.
I don't know.
They haven't made a lot of bodies here, I will say.
Yeah.
They're getting to the point where a bunch of 2s
No, I mean,
will get there.
Lisa deck will just attack with everyone. They'll probably blind flip this Delver. They'll flip the Delver now because they just brainstormed end phase. So it should flip. Or unless
Yeah,
it
so
really.
then
Oh, they're just like, super
damage,
unlucky.
exactly.
Oh, wait, they just got really unlucky with the brainstorm.
Well, they played terribly.
Yeah.
Either is possible.
Or they just dome them to the face.
Or they just dome for 2 and then it's.
Oh, no, they just kill the familiar. That actually does more damage. Yeah.
Well, even the face. The face is also lethal. They were going to 1 here, and the opponent has
Yeah.
no cards in hand.
Get the Stalker in. Yeah.
Stalker did nothing.
That's right. Is it going to the finals? Wow. Beat a definitely silence on board.
Well, I think that the finals matchup will be interesting. How many pieces of graveyard hate do they have in the sideboard?
Yeah. I'm going to get to that right
If
away.
it's 5+, it's going to be interesting.
We'll start the prediction now. Who will win?
Actually, this blue-red isn't really that set up for combo, is it? Like, it's not so much counterspells, it's more curious obsessions and things. I wonder if, you know, it's not really aggro control. It's like an aggro deck with some mana leaks.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of like what aggro control is. They have some like cheap counter magic, early threats. You just kind of protect your threat, and that's kind of like the way it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking if they've got like, I was thinking like if they have like 12 counter spells post board, and you know they can just kill you with a Delver while they stop you doing your thing. But if they're just like a bunch of blue and red creatures that attack, I mean, they're not like, is it Storm Chaser?
No, I mean, so it's like the list is like 4 Delvers, 4 Spray Dragon, 2 Stalkers, 1 Lutri, and 1 Crackling Drake. So they definitely have that like sort of like tempo beatdown as plan.
Well, that's not very many threats, so that actually gives me more hope because it makes me feel like they're not just a bunch of creatures.
They're
they
playing...
will be able to kind of control the game long enough.
So they have like 23 ways. Yeah, 23 ways to flip a Delver. They're playing 3 Clout, 3 Curious Obsession, and 1 Pike.
I mean, you can't play Stalker and not play Pike, can you? What does it even do? 3 Clout of the Dominus is just completely... I don't know. I guess it's good against some decks.
Delver's going to be on the play. Delver on the play is pretty great here.
Only 12 creatures.
Yeah, okay. Blind flip, blind flip, blind flip.
Repeal's really good. Snapback's really good. They have 8 main deck counter spells and another
Ooh, Curious
2 in the
Obsession. I
board.
like this. I like this. I like this setup here.
What the fuck? Why are they playing Reduced to Dreams in the side? But
Because
I don't know what that
sometimes, because sometimes
card is.
you just need
Against
soup.
Shrines for the
Yeah.
Shrines matchup.
Ooh, to the dome. Chain lightning to the dome. I like the recognition
Well,
knowing
if
that you can end this
every
game with
turn you're
grass.
not, yeah, every turn you're not holding up a counter spell, you want to spend your mana kicking the shit out of your opponent because at some point they're going to
Alright.
Dark Ritual Frantic Search fuck you up, aren't they?
Have you seen the new innovation of this World Gorger Dragon deck? I don't know if you
Which
watched
is
the
what
stream. Well, they're
Owl
adding a one
Familiar.
of they're adding a one of the Duskmantle Guildmage to use all to use the mana when you like loop like
Yes,
Runescar
as
demons. Yeah.
my Dragon Crank, which I have
No,
a
but there's no crank. There's no mind crank.
yes, I know, but I
Yeah.
use the Guild Mage as the kill condition, like the Piranha Marsh, as often as I use it to do a Dragon Crank thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when I frantic search, my most favorite discard is a Guild Mage and a Dragon because it breaks the loop and lets you spend all the mana to kill them.
Right. That's kind of the idea here, especially with like
Yeah. So
Shriekhorns. When you're refreshing your
they actually play it in Legacy. Dustmankle Guild Mage as like a one of or whatever. So like they've stolen that idea from there, I think.
we probably mentioned they looks Una more. Well,
And that's why they're playing Owl Familiar because it's the closest thing we have to Baleful Strix. It's not like Baleful Strix,
it's
but
basically Penny Dreadful Baleful Strix.
yes. So we have counters up now. We have not flipped our Delver, which is
Yeah. With
unfortunate.
Ionize is live. All right, Duress
What if
though
the
is gonna
Black
break that
Fortress?
up.
Oh, I'm looking on the wrong screen, so I'm behind reality again. Let me
Yeah,
go back
you gotta look at
into
your own
Geo.
MDGO.
I was distracted by chat.
You can look at. I mean, do you have two monitors? You should have two monitors.
Dude, I don't have a monitor. I am very temporarily living in West Hollywood. I don't expect to be here beyond herd immunity, whenever that is.
All right, they took the repeal. They kept Evolving Wilds, Swiftwater Cliffs, Cloud of the Dominus, and Runechainer's Spike. So the jig is up, basically.
Okay, so their hand is garbage and they've lost.
Yeah, the jig is up.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't lost yet.
I mean, haven't they?
This is
I guess
weird.
they have to find an animate dead with their 5 cards in hand, which are all designed to find animate dead. But
The way they
they're
played
milling
out their
themselves.
the way they played their lands, they actually bluffed the counterspell. Instead of like if they played the tap line, they could have gone turn 4, like Pike Equip or like
Pike
whatever.
equip, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like instead the way they played it,
Interesting.
they actually bluffed the counterspell.
I think you could have bluffed a 2-mana counterspell, though, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, like, it's not, you didn't even really gain anything because Mana Leak would have been scary there. And you have Spell Pierce, which is bluffable off 1 blue.
Delver
Yeah, I don't
refuses
like
to
that.
flip. Delver refuses to flip.
We're just going to clout this Delver and get in for 3.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't,
No, I don't think so because you playing the land pre-combat, definitely not because you want to hold up Ionize if you draw it, right?
yeah, and it's also kind of a non-bow if you that's true. You're playing yourself, but also the clout plus Pike is kind of bad because you can only do one or the
Okay,
other.
so if we flip next turn, it's 7 damage. So we just need a Mana Leak
Right.
or 2 here. Mana Leak and then flip off Mana Leak and GG's.
All right, another Duress.
No.
There already is a World Gorger in the
Going
graveyard.
down.
Yeah, there's already another World
There
Gorger
are
in the
3
graveyard.
World Gorges in the graveyard. Be the perfect time. Well, yeah. It's interesting how much of a player Duress has been this season. I've been really liking it in my.
Oh, they had a mana leak. They drew the leak too.
Yeah.
They drew. Did you wait? Oh, they must have drawn a leak off the obsession, but
Oh well.
I think they drew the leak. No, they must have drawn a Delver and drawn a leak off the obsession.
I have to say, this is the best I've ever seen Shriekhorn, despite people playing it endlessly. You know, doubling as a kill condition.
What if
Does,
what if they were gods and had a mana leak, didn't reveal it, and just let them like?
Oh, that would have.
What if they were actual gods? But I don't think so. I don't think that people do that.
It's just bad to do that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just bad. If they've got a duress, they're going to duress you, but
Right.
it would still be cool.
It's only 3 Duresses main deck, but that would have been like 5-head play if you could think about that. But I don't know.
I wonder if part of the reason why this all creature deck is good is because so many people are playing duress.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, like
don't
I said,
think
they went
so.
undefeated until losing to the rematch of the Is It Tempo deck.
Yeah,
So
I mean, despite there being a lot of duress and a lot of Will Good Dragon and everything, there's still more red deck wins and heroic and everything else. So it's not. Yeah, Clout is terrible in this deck. Crazy B says, and he's correct.
it has its upsides, but I think you do like one or the other. You do like Fierce Obsession,
It's
or you
literally only
do,
at full power on a Sprite Dragon, right?
yeah, for sure. But you
And it
do one
makes
or
your
the other.
Delvers worse. So it makes your Sprite Dragons better and your Delvers worse. It's not even necessarily a net positive for the deck for it to be there over a blank piece of cardboard or
This is the
over skipping that draw step and having the next one instead.
this is the status with Water Cliffs. But here's the Sprite Dragon ready to get clouded.
Uh-oh. The worst possible Shriekhorn. Inanimate dead and no dragon.
There's the World Gorger.
Yeah.
All right, another duress. Because we'll have to see what's in the Is It hand.
Treasure Cruise is interesting.
Ooh, they had a snapback, ponder, and an
I guess if you're
island.
playing Shriekhorn,
It's
you're kind
rough.
of priced into playing Treasure Cruise, aren't you?
Oh, they shouldn't have played that mountain because now they know that's like now they know your
Yeah.
hand. They already know that you have an
Well,
island in
you're
your hand.
pondering, right? You've got the best card of 3.
Yeah, but you don't need to like give them more information than necessary. Yeah, keep them in wonder.
Bit of salt there from the
Oh, I just also realized that there's only
Blue
one
Red
land in
card,
the World Gorge Dragon side of the board.
which means that they've got it all lined up. They just don't have a
Milled
second
another
land.
duress and a Giga
You,
draws.
I wouldn't keep a 1 swamp hand that didn't have it all rolled up once I draw the other land, would you?
No.
So I'd
Well,
say there's an animate dead in that hand, although it may not matter because
I guess if you're
counterspell is.
thinking, I guess I don't even know why you even mill there because you already have
Yeah,
like
what
the
are you
thing
going
you
to
want.
mill?
Yeah, you already have the thing you want in your graveyard, so you're just waiting,
I
waiting
guess they're
for.
just thinking of like, yeah, it's the last token as well, and there's possibility of graveyard hate. Yeah, I don't like milling there much, but maybe there's something we're not thinking about. Maybe there's a murderous cut in hand.
To be fair, they did mill 2 non-land cards, so maybe they're just like way ahead of us in terms of like thinking.
This is where the murderous cut would come out. No.
Yeah. Well, never mind. Yeah.
Well, looks like we're going to
Oh,
one
we're
all
getting
here.
clouded. Oh man, this guy has so much clout.
He's actually only got 1 card in hand, so this is an animate dead. It might just be good enough.
No, I mean they have to have a mana leak here. Never mind.
Oh my
All
god!
right.
Well, I'm vindicated that I would play my version of Blue Red and not this version. But yeah,
Well, I mean,
seventh tournament win of the season for World Gorge Dragon. I'll just say that. Not often a combo deck gets to 7 wins in a season in Penny Dreadful.
yeah,
Maybe
if you're like
hindsight.
mono red or heroic or like another popular
Yeah, I
aggro
mean, there's
deck.
40 something aggro decks have won tournaments, but 7 for one particular or one slice of combo is.
Congrats to the World
It's like
Gorger
a
better.
recurring nightmare season.
Congrats to the World Gorger better. You won. Yeah, fun tournament overall.
That is interesting. He kept the all rolled up 1 swamp hand with a duress or 2. Didn't draw the land until turn 5, which threw a ponder.
Yeah, and they kind of had to go for it there because I mean, the Sprite Dragon kills you in 2 turns, so you might as well just do it because they had 1 card in their hand. They're just waiting. I don't know if you even like they played at a bunch of lands, so it was more likely for them to just go for it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they duressed them 2 turns before they won, right? Like, I don't know. You're not really gaining anything. And if you draw your Crackling Drake, you want to play it out and then still have your counter up or whatever. So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I wonder. Yeah, I guess they really must believe in Shriekhorn because they kept a 1 swamp hand with Shriekhorn. So they're saying, I'm pretty sure that Shriekhorn's going to put a World Gorger Dragon in my graveyard. Or maybe they had a 2-mana spell that would do that, like Owl Familiar. So they were thinking, I'll draw an island, I'll play Owl Familiar, I'll ditch the one in hand. Or Shriekhorn will find one.
Here's Dark Pantsu in the chat. My hand doesn't think if I drew a land. Yeah, I mean that's like the only reason you do keep cards like that. You have all the pieces. You just
Oh
like
yeah, I mean, especially when it's one swamp, so you're not cantripping to like you can keep a one island with two ponders with garbage as the rest of the cards, you know, but you can't keep a one swamp hand unless you're about to do it. Nice, wow, a
one
victory
tournament.
for World Quarter Dragon.
I know. I
It's
mean,
a very good season. The decks are almost too good. It's not really Penny Dreadful anymore.
like let's see the top eight real quick. So just a breakdown. Winner, obviously the World Gorger Dragon deck. Pretty strong.
Oh,
Found
our winner is in the chat.
yeah.
So the hand that you kept in that last game, what were you going to do to get a dragon if you didn't hit it off Shriekhorn? Or was Shriekhorn just like the plan?
It brainstorm Bushy Corn, but you kept the swamp hand.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of faith in Shriekhorn,
Yeah.
but I can see why you would
Are you
keep,
look?
some protection against the counterspell deck and
Yeah, we'll do a little
so forth.
analysis in the end. So, can you look at the? Can you open the deck list? Because I know you're. Can you open Gathering? You can just look at the deck list.
Mm.
So I'll just go through all the.
Well, you
We'll
got it
go
on
through the
screen
top
now,
eight real
so
quick for the YouTubes. We'll call it a night.
yeah.
So yeah.
What do we got here?
So Runescarred Demon, World Gorger, Al Familiar. Al Familiar is one of those like really interesting cards where sometimes you just need more frantic searches and you need something to like
Guild
animate
Mages.
dead.
Guild Mages. What Guild Mages? It kills with the World Gorger loop. That's great. It also stops the World Gorger loop, which may or may not be important at some point. And it's a 2/2 for 2 if you need to block to not die to have a whole extra turn or something.
Right. It ended the game a lot
Phil,
faster than just like Shriekhorn loops. Because like the thing is like painfully slow in some aspects when you still need a lot of time. So if you can have like infinite
yeah, I
mana.
mean, I used to play this deck with Gitu Fire as the kill condition and only one, and read the runes to draw the entire deck to find the Gitu Fire. So you sometimes had to make like 78 loops to win or whatever. So
Right.
I'm not scared of a bit of Shriekhorn action.
I don't know. I've
Yes,
seen
it's for so the ways to how do you win? You win if you have a Runescarred Demon in play when you will Gorge your loot. You win if you have an Owl Familiar in play because you can discard a Dust Mantle Guild Mage and then break the loot once you've got infinite mana, or not infinite mana, but enough mana to kill and some cards left in your deck. And you kill if you have a Shriekhorn in play. None of the lands kill. Yeah, I mean, it's quite a lot of kill conditions. It's interesting that
yeah, I mean I
Dust
know
Mantle Guild Mage gets a slot.
a lot of people disagree
I
with
can
me, but like I
believe.
really like just having those like dumb damage lands, but because I only want it to speed up the clock, because sometimes like MTGO works on a chess clock, so you really need like things to end the game quickly. And I'm glad that Dustmantle Guildmage is like basically a blue-black fireball that you
Well,
can
yeah,
use
I
with
mean,
infinite
it's
mana.
still it's a lot of mana, right? You need 3 to activate it, and then you have to, because you don't have Mind Crank, you have to do it the hard way. So you need 4 mana for every 2 life.
No,
Is
you
that
don't even do
right?
that. What they do is basically how I died because I played them in round one. So basically,
Mm.
you could just make like every 3 mana. Think about like every 3 mana is like 1 damage. So you just keep activating the first ability, and then eventually like it's more like what's the word? It's more mana
Oh,
efficient.
I see.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you build it up so that each activation of 4 is 2 times
right.
X.
And if you have Shriekhorns in play, then that's like another like 2 damage or 6 damage or whatever damage.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I wouldn't play this card just for clock, but I assume it's
I
not just
would.
in clock.
I absolutely would. It's funny, their only loss was another random Izzet deck, so maybe there's something in the Izzet decks.
I
But
feel
well,
like saying that 20 mana is 5 loops, so it tells me that you're not going off early enough.
all right. Let's look at the
You want to
second place.
dark ritual out your frantic search on turn 2.
Let's look at the second place deck, the Izzet tempo deck from Stefan.
I've played a lot of World Gorge Dragon, including this season. I have yet to time out. I haven't timed out since season 2.
Are you looking at this Izzet deck, the Clout deck?
Yeah, let me get it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, I don't know about Clout.
I mean, Clout is literally a card designed for a format based around enemy color pairs, where you had two drops in the limited format that were both colors and were very good. And the idea was that you put the Clouts or that cycle onto the mimics, as they were called, and that made them insanely good in like limited. And it was like a borderline playable aura in limited. I don't know what it's doing in a constructed deck in a format with a turn 3.5 Storm deck. That just seems not good, especially because it only double hits on Crackling Drake, which is like lethal already. I guess it's a hasty Crackling Drake's not to be sniffed at.
well, I mean,
Lutri, which doesn't seem relevant.
we saw like Sprite Dragon Clout do a lot of work to some people. Like I think
Yeah,
without
but
that,
like, I don't want a Clout on my Delver. I don't want a Clout on my Stalker. So it's literally 4 Sprite Dragon, 1 Crackling Drake, 1 Lutri. And even Lutri is not very exciting because I've waited until turn 96 to get my Lutri out anyway. So like, I mean, it's cute and all,
yeah,
but like, I don't think it's good.
I
And
like the
Sprite Dragon
shell.
has haste, so
Yeah,
literally one card in the entire 75 can gain haste from Cloud of the Dawners.
I like
Yeah.
the shell of this deck in terms of like Delver, Sprite Dragon spells, but the choice of spells is a little odd. I mean, when things work, they work, so it's like it's hard to.
Repeal is fine. Snapback
Yeah,
is a concession to World Gorge Dragon being good. Treasure Cruise is great. Ponder's great. Manlink's great. Burst Lightning's great. Chain Lightning's great. Curious Obsession is okay. I mean, you've got to do something to make your Stalker good, haven't you? So you can't really play Stalker unless you play Curious Obsession or a different color.
I'm just so surprised at the numbers, but I don't know how people get to these numbers of like 2 Chain Lightning, 3 Brainstorm. Like, I don't. I think it's whatever like feels right to people, but
17 lands is
yeah,
aggressively low.
it's ambitious. It's
There are
really
7 turn 1 sources of blue here, so you are not playing Delver or Ponder on turn 1 all that often.
yeah, and of course we mentioned that there's
And you are
actually
never bolting the bird because you've only got 5 mountains.
maybe they realized that they're not the 5 mana, so that's why they didn't play Fumarole and said they decided to gain a life. Maybe they're
I
just
like.
smarter.
I know we have really good cantrips this season, but I really like getting on for 20 lands.
No probe, no probe either.
Yeah, no probe and only 1 treasure cruise, so
Yeah, but
kind
hey,
of
man,
not the excuse for 17 lands. I don't know. Ponder does a lot of work, but
they made it to the finals. Who are we
no,
to
I mean it
argue?
looked pretty good, right? Like the Sprite Dragons in particular looked monstrous. You know,
I
2 mana 7/7 flyer is
sign me up. I'm interested in Sprite Dragon.
pretty sick. Yeah, it's like
Also, last
better
fun
than
fact.
Tarmogoyf once you're firing off enough spells, isn't it?
Last fun fact. It's a dragon, so you can actually use Silumgar's Scorn too.
Now we're talking.
All right, Demir Storm, tied for 4th.
I played Improbable Alliance when I tried to
Yeah.
make this deck as my 3rd threat after. Well, actually, I played Fairy Vandal, Sprite Dragon, and Improbable Alliance and didn't play any Delvers, which was probably stupid.
What do you think about Storm? What do you think about Blue Black Storm?
Well, it's really good, isn't it? I mean,
It's
it's
good if
just really good.
unless you're
Like,
playing
which
against
of
the
those cards? Which of those cards would be out of place in a Legacy Storm deck? Like Cruel Bargain, Ransack the Lab, and maybe pieces of the puzzle, and the rest come on in. And in fact,
yeah.
Frantic Search, oh my god, my dreams have come true, right? So
Every
it's
time,
basically a Legacy Storm deck without, and this is a big without, really great mana and the kind of big spell. So like the Tutor That Dark Rituals or the Past in Flames or the Ad Nauseum, right? So it only has the fairway, you know,
yeah.
the
I
kind
mean,
of
every time,
actually cast a bunch of spells way
every time you put like
from your
Ponder,
hand.
Brainstorm, and Probe into a format, you're gonna make a busted deck, and that's like, and like the Storm deck is a product of that. You know, it's like I could draw enough cards, just get my way out of this. And you put 4 Treasure Cruise. Oh, by the way, I have 4 Treasure Cruise as well, so I have Incessant Recall, and I have a bunch of card drawing spells. All
Yeah,
I
I feel
need,
like in this deck, if you go for it and they negate in exactly the right spot and spell pierce and whatever, you probably just treasure cruise and go again like the next turn or the turn after.
yeah,
Like this seems like unbeatable for a control deck.
and because like, WotC just loves giving black cards more things to do. They have Feed the Swarm to kill Deafening Silence or Elder One Canoness. So it's like it's
Nice.
actually really silly how this deck could actually be like super strong. But I don't know about Baron more.
I mean,
So
I think in any Storm deck, I'm boarding in, some bounce, probably like 4 bounce in the dark, always
yeah.
anyway, right? So I don't even care about. I guess
I
Feed the Swarm is one way to do it. I almost think like Into the Royal or Repeal or
I actually like Stern
Stern Dismissal are
Dismissal. I actually
better.
like Stern Dismissal a lot because it kills creatures or enchantments. I like to see a lot of people playing that. I play a main deck in my Storm Disc.
Do you? God,
Yeah.
that's Repeal. I can sort of live with in the main deck, but
Oh, I
I
think
kind of
like
just want to be as fast as possible in my main deck, and
yeah.
then
I mean, I like Feed too, but like I also think that like the main deck is so redundant that you could just play like little, like you said, repeals, or it's just like whatever you want to do. You can just do whatever.
yeah,
And I like
this
Dismissal.
deck just fucking loves Sunken Ruins so much.
No, it's the best
Must
card.
be the best Sunken
It's
Ruins
it's
deck.
it's literally the best land.
Like Frantic Search, untapping all your Sunken Ruins, regardless of what you'd actually tapped to
Yeah.
cast Frantic
Mm.
Search, is clearly the play.
All right.
Turn all that Cabal Ritual and Dark Ritual mana into usable,
All right. I'm gonna use the
something
bathroom one more
usable.
time, but you want to start talking about the Selesnya deck over at because it's 38 creatures.
All right.
So go click the
We will,
Selesnya deck, and I'm gonna use the bathroom.
yeah. So the Selesnya deck is 2 Kataki War's Wage in the main, 2 Reclamation Sage in the main. I mean, that's gunning for some affinity. It's pretty great. Look, so wait, what's good against what? So Bird's Paradise is terrible against hazard field and all that kind of stuff. So Canonist is good against Storm. Fleece Man 9 is just a beta that's kind of okay against control. Keening Apparition is good against World Gorge Dragon and Reanimator in general, kind of. Hierarch is good against red and anything aggressive that's not like going over the top, like heroic. Smiter is good against him and counter spells. Judge's Familiar is good against instants and sorceries, kind of, although it is not a beta. So this deck kind of hopes there's 8 plains, 6 forests for turn 1, and 4 birds. 6 forests, 4 birds of paradise that's the kind of mana base only a mother could love, I think. And then 3 Judges Familiar and 2 Drive Militant, which I think Drive Militant's the best one drop here because you have 14 turn 1 sources for it, so you're like guaranteed to be able to play a creature. But I guess a lot of the time you play a tap land. Oh, they have Wooded Bastion. So there's only 4 tap lands.
I
Only
actually really,
20 lands.
I actually
Only
really
20
like
lands and
Judge's
it goes up to
Familiar.
4.
I
You
think
like
Judge's
Judges
Familiar is.
Familiar?
I do because it's like it's a taxing effect that if you're already putting a
It's
lot
not
of
really a taxing effect, right? Like
well for like
it's
popular
on
decks,
board
you just
and you only let it counter things that you don't care about, right?
I
Like
mean, we just talked about how good like Ponder and Brainstorm and Probar and like those decks just love 1 and 2 mana spells and they're getting really greedy
I
on
mean
their
if
mana.
you go Plains Judges Familiar and your opponent goes Island Ponder, you're just snapping it off.
No, I mean, and I'm just saying like in these late games where like they need that mana leak or they need that like negate to like make things happen or whatever, and then that's when familiar is the best, right? So like this deck can go like familiar like 3/3, and then all of a sudden there's like this crazy clock, and you can't really like chain it or whatever because then you just sacrifice to the 1/1 for the 3/3 to get in front of the 3/3, So yeah, not negate, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah,
This
maybe.
deck is
I mean,
a pile of like I wish I draw this card. Like
yeah. I mean, Reclamation Sage in the wrong matchup.
yeah,
That is just hot garbage, isn't it? It's a
but
2/1 for 3.
this deck is also like the greatest like okay worst case scenario attack for 2. Like that's every card in this deck. It's like worst case scenario I'm just attacking. Like so
I mean, it's going to be really difficult to curve out with this deck, right? 6 forests, 4 birds, and then like
yeah. I mean
4 tap lands.
I think they kind of knew that going into it because everything starts at 2 because there's 18 drops here. So really
Yeah, kind
everything.
of. I'll be ready to go on turn 2, and I'll make whatever the hatiest card
Yeah.
for what you're doing is because I've seen your turn 1 play at least, and then I'll make a 4/4, and hopefully before you can recover, I've killed you.
And
And
I
if you
also
have any other kind of plan, I'm completely fucked because my deck has no play to it whatsoever beyond I am a card that sits on the board with rules text.
I can't imagine like
They
the
actually beat Is
si
It Tempo
this
in round two
yeah.
of the
Yeah.
tournament, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, four
Well,
fours against 1-1s or whatever.
they beat him in round two, and they just won the run back to tempo deck. The sideboard's a random mishmash of cards, but I guess it
They
mostly
only
worked out.
lost games to the Is It Tempo deck, as you said, I
Yeah.
guess. Crushed Storm, crushed Red deck wins, crushed
I
Mono
could,
Blue
yeah.
Tempo.
This deck
Pretty good.
destroys red. This deck probably just destroys red deck.
It just makes a
Uh,
4/4, doesn't it? It
yeah.
doesn't block the first striker, and that's enough on its own, isn't
And then it plays Gnaw to the Bone and Blessed Alliance randomly in the
it?
sideboard.
Not to the bone.
Yeah.
For, for
It's for
what?
Dredge. It's obviously it's for Dredge. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Right,
I don't
you've
know.
12 me and you've got some 3/1s, but I've just gained 16 life, so I don't care.
All right, let's move on to
What's
the rest
next?
of the top eight. Another prowess deck. Another is it prowess deck?
Well, this is really different, right? Because it's
Yeah.
well, I guess it's not really different, but it's definitely like Storm Chaser Mage and four Storm Chaser Mage, one Kiln Fiend definitely put you in a certain mode.
I think this is
Um,
more of like the tempo is it spells deck that we kind of want to see, or like we're expecting to see, where it's like
it's
spells
not.
burn and like cheap
I'm
removal.
just not that interested in that kind of deck because that kind of deck is just bad against the aggro, right? They're just always bad. Like you
You're almost always racing.
have all these fiddly cards, that you nip around doing whatever, and your opponent just plays 2/2s for one, and you die.
I,
Like
I I'm more worried about if like one of these guys dies, like Delver, Sprite Dragon, Storm Chaser. If any of those die, your whole
but they
like
all
plan.
die to every red spell,
Yeah,
right? So
exactly.
so so it's you just like automatically lose to red deck wins. Whereas if you like play like proper aggro control, where you can side out and become an actual control deck post board, I think that's way better. I had a really good record against red a season or two ago, siding in like not Anger of the Gods, but whatever our equivalent was that season. Maybe it was Anger of the Gods. I don't
No,
remember.
we never had anger. It's probably like Slag Storm or something, or Rolling
I don't
Trembler.
remember. I don't remember, but
Um,
it was a 3 damage one because it killed all the red creatures. Um, and so yeah,
maybe it's just another
hmm.
example of like cards like Ponder, Brainstorm,
Like
Probe, just propping up decks that are
why
like
isn't
could
this
be
deck
worse.
mono blue, right?
Because Kiln Fiend and Burst Lightning and Chain Lightning. That's why. That's
I mean,
Sprite
I know Burst
Dragon.
Lightning. Yeah, I don't know. You give up a
So
lot. Like 4 Swift Over Cliffs, 3 Evolving Wilds, only 8 turn 1 blue sources. Like your Delver is not as hot as a
I
real Delver.
I'm under the camp. I'm in the camp that you shouldn't be playing Evolving Wilds in these like low casting cost tempo decks just because you have
Well, it's for
Brainstorm.
Brainstorm, isn't it?
But no, I
There's no
but
other reason to do it, right? You can literally
yeah,
have a man land in that slot
but
if you
like
want, which is
you could
obviously
just
massively
play
better.
you can just play spells that shuffle like Ponder shuffles, Trinket Mage
Nothing else
shuffles,
shuffles.
Trinket Mage
Latnam's
shuffles.
Legacy is the second best card that shuffle, and it also takes a card out of your hand, so it's not even really appropriate for brainstorm shuffles. We have do you know how many times I've been to frickin' Scryfall to find something that shuffles?
I don't know. I don't know. I just really can't get behind. I mean, Evolving Wilds is not as terrible as in like an
Like,
Amano Blue
what does
deck.
this deck beat that mono red doesn't beat? Like, it's got 4 mana leaks, and post board, it's also got
We get like rebuilds and
one
like
negate.
I think you're just like a better off deck against like combo decks because you have miscasts and like annuls and just counter magic,
Yeah,
things like
I
that.
guess it is true that you are not completely hopeless against Royal Gorge Dragon like red is.
It's just a style, you know. It's a style of the type of game you can play because
Yeah.
these tempo decks are just about protecting your threat or just like making sure your threat gets through, which is like why probably like burst lightning, chain lightning are just probably more removal spells than like spells to go to the dome, but they
I
can go to
mean,
the
this
dome.
this looks very focused to me. I'm not
Yeah,
saying it's bad. It's just this deck wants Scalding Tarn and Tropic and Volcanic Island so fucking badly.
yeah. Mana
Like
is always a thing in Penny Dreadful, and we can't
like
really like help that.
they've got 3 untapped red source in the entire deck. So if you play a Delver on turn 1, you are not Burst Lightning or Chain Lightning anything until turn 3.
You just have to
It's just
believe. You just have to believe. I wouldn't even play Squiblar Eclipse. I would just play 4 Evolving Wilds. If you're gonna play Brainstorm, just call it a day.
I think I was playing 7 tapped lands in my version of this deck, but that was without Ponder. So Ponder changes a lot. But Ponder makes me want like 10 islands and make the red a splash almost, you know.
Oh yeah,
Like
Pro, but fixes.
I'll find the red with Ponder and Brainstorm, and then I'll cast my red spells. Because like 8 islands, like half the time you have a Delver or a Ponder, you are not going to have an island. Like literally getting on for half the time. That's such a setback compared to like being mono blue or playing more islands.
All right, let's move on to the green-white slide deck. Click that. I want to pull up a stat because it's really crazy.
Now this is a motherfucker, this deck, right? Like it's basically like if you're playing certain kinds of strategies, well, you might as well concede now. And if you're playing other kinds of strategies, you get a free win. I mean, like it's pretty polarized matchups, I reckon.
Right. I mean, this is probably just Fartak being crazy, but like when they started playing this deck a lot, they first started like win. Then they, I don't know.
Well, it just beats up on like decks that want to make creatures an attack, doesn't it?
Right.
It just beats up on them big
Which is
time.
a very popular strategy in Penny Dreadful, especially like.
Yeah, so like it's a great tournament deck because you know but I mean against World Gorge Dragon, what was it trying to do? Get down a turn 3 slide and then make it impossible to loop, I guess, by having a cycler in hand at all times and not getting it duress, which is not that big a risk.
But I mean,
how many actually cycling casters does this even play? Is it just the lands?
The lands. There's 1 Eternal Dragon. There's 4 Edge of Autumn. That's pretty much it.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is what I want to get to.
That's really interesting. Well, it makes sense, right? Because their engine is Tilling Tree Folk.
Right. And this is the part I want to get to, is that like that's got a lot of like there's a lot of play that you can do against this deck, like, you know, Graveyard Hate. Yeah. Silent Gravestone just destroys this deck.
It's actually a kind of a fair, rampish Deep Forest Hermit deck.
But there's only 2 Deep Forest Hermits.
Slide Drift.
These are the 2 problems I have with this deck. One, it's very like linear in terms of like how they cycle. Like I really like Eternal Dragon. I think you could just like Eternal Dragon for days.
Is there any way to get the Hermit into the graveyard in order to Vesper Lark it? Just like
no, they have to kill it
straight up. So there's no Wayfinder. It's only once it's dead.
But
so it's kind of a graveyard deck that's weak to disenchants and slow.
Yeah,
but if it sets up, you're never, ever, 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 ever beating it with a creature deck.
Right. The other thing is that, speaking of like creatures, like they only have 2 Forest numbers. There's no really way of like them winning in any sort of like fast fashion. Like we talked earlier about like
it's like turn 7 is the earliest or something.
How like
I do think it's sweet that they have Skyclave Cleric, which means that they can gain 2 life and then make a land out of their guy. Chump block and turn him into a land.
I don't know how that works. I think you have to play it as a land.
Always come back as a land because the.
Does it?
Oh, hang on, no, wait. What's the front side?
No, it's the front side is the creature. Yeah.
Oh no.
So like the thing is that
it's just a 1/3. Well, that's actually better for the deck, but it's less funny.
Well, what you actually do is like you play this turn 1 as a land, pick it up with Slezzo Sanctuary, then play it again as a creature. That's what you're supposed to do, I think. Slezzo Sanctuary is the Karoo land.
Yeah, I don't know. Look at this like Stonehorn Dignitary bullshit. Like if you're heroic and your opponent like plays Stonehorn Dignitary with an Astral Sight in play, you are not having a good time. 3 Stonehorn Dignitary is more important to the plan than Grazer, than Hermit, than Elvish Visionary.
Yeah,
Fiend Hunter. This is an actual sick Fiend Hunter deck, I guess.
No, it's an amazing Fiend Hunter deck. I think it's just like, I wish a deck just had like more cycling. It's weird to say this, but like I wish that there's like more cycling.
Well, you can cycle the drift, but 3 is a lot to pay for your cycling.
Yeah.
Once you've got a slide out, you can cycle a drift and get 2 activations. I don't know. Yeah, you're right.
It's hard to criticize a deck because it's Fartak has been doing so well. Like I said, 2 wins, 2 finals.
He crushed a big red red deck wins type
Yeah.
thing in round one. He crushed red deck wins in turn two. What did he beat in
He lost
round
to the
four?
creature. He lost to the 38 creature deck. That's amazing to me.
Oh
They
wow!
ran out of
Because of
time.
Keening Apparition, obviously.
They actually. I remember. We watched the match on stream. He ran out of time.
It's very easy to beat a slide deck on time. That's usually
Yeah.
my tactic if
And
I don't have an obvious route to victory, is to
I,
just time them out.
I think.
I think I've done it more often than not.
Yeah. I think it's my overall problem with the deck is that it's just not fast, and I don't. I don't
You have to play
like.
fast. I think it's okay if you play fast.
No, you can just play more hermits or something. You can play more hermits and just like be just as fast.
Yeah,
Instead,
three Stonehorn Dignitary feels like a lot when you're only on two Hermits and
yeah.
one Springbloom Druid and whatever. Like,
Just gotta speed it up. Speed up the deck. I think it could be a lot better. I think that's my like analysis of it. It's hard to be critical though, like I said, because they've done so well. So it's like, what do I know?
yeah,
Um,
I mean, look, you've got 8 slides. You mulligan to a slide. You play out some value creatures. You start sliding. At some point, you get a Tilling Tree Folk. Then you can do it 96 times a turn. You win. If that isn't good enough, you don't win.
right. All right. Let's move on
And
to the
it's
next
fine.
deck. Mono red. So many things you can say about mono red. Actually, there is
This
a lot
deck
of
went
things.
2-3. It
Yeah.
lost to the green white creature deck, which seems like a terrible matchup. The World God Dragon deck, which seems like a terrible matchup,
Look at
and the green white slide deck, which seems like a terrible matchup. So we
oh,
have finally created a meta that isn't good for red deck wins for the first time in Penny Dreadful history.
I think like more often than not, there's like a really set way of building red deck. It's like, okay, I have the cackler, okay, and I have this other two power one drop, and I have to see X amount of like maybe like 2 good 2 drops. This format, this season, everything's good. So it's like you can see a lot of like variance in these lists.
I really enjoy. I've been trying to make a deck with Kari Zev and Village Rites because you can sack the monkey and draw 2 cards. You know,
Oh no.
for a long time, but it hasn't quite come together for me. She's also human, so you can sack a Falconrat Aristocrat and get a counter. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
It's somewhere in my brain. It's there.
Yeah.
Black Red Aristocrats with Kari Zev, but it hasn't happened yet. I call it Agrocrats in my file.
I like Firebolt, but I don't know if it's good enough. I just like.
The thing about Firebolt is it is only good if you're going to flash it back, right? Like it's strictly worse than zillions of cards, right? So how often are you getting to 5 lands and 2 damage being relevant in your 20 land red deck wins deck? Non-zero, certainly, but I don't know. I don't know if I like it or not.
Yeah,
Incinerate is a very good Magic card.
But yeah, I mean that's a big thing about honestly red decks that they don't have like mana sinks. Like that's why people like Burst Lightning over Shock, obviously, because
but this deck has 3 Phoenix of Ash, which is really cute.
Yeah, Ash,
and that's like a mana sink whether it dies or not.
Right. Kind of does like weirdly play against Firebolt.
Yeah. I really like Phoenix of Ash. I think, you know, I mean, if you think about Chandra's Phoenix, that's been played to death in Penny Dreadful. This is probably, I think I'm going to say definitely better than Chandra's Phoenix, right? Like,
debatable,
it's
I guess.
one more to replay it, and you have to have cards in your graveyard, but it gets pumped and you don't have to burn their face.
The fire breathing thing is really nice. I think it has just more like options.
It's definitely just we more don't like see versatile. A lot of is that 1/1 Sata something that doubles your burn spells by making them hit the face when they hit the creature.
Satyr Fire Dancer.
Satyr Fire Dancer. I'm surprised, like in this, you know, people are playing creature decks. I'm surprised there isn't some of that in the sideboard of red deck wins.
Well, okay, so if you want to think about the other creature decks that are probably prevalent, mono red that dies to burn, affinity, you already have Smash Slithering, so it does the same thing. You're not killing any of that green white deck, the green white creature deck. So what are really like the burn spells? Maybe like blue, but then they have like things like Spell Pierce. I don't think that's really axis you want to fight on.
Yeah, and I guess Heroic can get bigger than it or counter it. So
Heroic is just gonna play like a Silver Knight.
It has actually been played to a 57% win rate, and it has won a tournament, but yeah, only 35 decks.
Right.
I can't believe that Penny Dreadful is so massive that we're saying only. Barb Ring not as a 4-of, or not even as a card, is pretty interesting. Like, how often are you racing that you don't want Barbarian Ring over a mountain?
I don't know. Barbarian Ring has actually like lost me a lot of games too. Just the fact that it like pings you.
Yeah, when you get like the 2 Barbarian Ring draw and you just like do 8 to yourself trying to get on the board, it's pretty depressing. But that card is very powerful.
Yeah, it's just weird to me how like this deck can be built in many different ways, and I think any way is really good. Just kind of
Yeah,
depends
I
on
mean,
like,
at 1 cent we always had loads of red cards. At 2 cents we have
and
just endless number.
this will always be the gatekeeper for like if your deck is like kind of good or kind of bad. Like just play against a red deck and see how well you fare, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah. And
uh,
I often find that I'm loving my brew
yeah.
the first like so many matches, and then I play red and I think, oh shit,
Oh god.
of
All right.
course it doesn't work.
The last deck of the night, green white auras from Takeout Tree.
Yeah, so this we saw play, right? Is
Yeah,
this the one we saw play? Yeah.
this is like the crazy Glade Cover Scout.
I think it's interesting to play 3 Gather of Graces, 1 Silver Knight. That's hedging your bets.
That's
I
I
kind of
know
like
you.
Gather because I think it's
Oh, you like it?
it,
I was gonna dislike it.
no, sorry. Obviously, Glade Cover Scout is the only good creature in this deck, and that is the massive downfall of this deck is that it has to play crappier creatures than you would normally play in like modern bottles, right? But
Oh, there's no Griff Spoon in this
given
deck.
that, I think Gather of Graces is fine, right? Like you've decided to play the I lose to an edict, whatever deck. You can okay, so one of your creatures also dies to a -X spell as well. Suck it up. You know, that's the game you're playing.
How about
I think I would just play 4/4/4 and mulligan to one of them and then keep any hand that had one of them and
what if
2 lands.
what if you just played like a hard to kill esque threat, depending on what the format like got you? Like for example, the Silver Knight. So maybe they think mono red's really good, so maybe you just played this like pro creature. So like what if it like black was really good and you thought that day, okay, black is I just wanna screw over black. Let me play like a Knight of Glory or something. Or like or White Knight. I think that idea
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
bit better than just playing like Gather of Graces. Because sometimes
Mm,
you have to just survive like one or two like turns. And if you can do that, then you have like, Ethereal Armor, Hyena Umbra, because all these like enchantments. And that's the best thing about this deck is that all the enchantments
you
are
know,
really cheap.
I think I think I would play my Gather of Graces on turn 3. I guess you can't really in the wrong matchup, and it does die to red deck wins just
Right.
constantly. Yeah, okay. Gather of Graces is maybe terrible. I guess
Yeah.
that's why Abundant Growth is kind of nice because you can have an aura out before you play it, and then
No, because Gather
you get
Graces only gets the bonus when it's an art attached to it. So
yes,
it's
yeah,
not like Yavimaya
but you can
Enchantress.
regenerate it, so you can play Abundant Growth on turn
Oh.
1,
Oh,
Gather of Graces
okay.
on turn 2, and then it can't be burned by a single burn
Yeah.
spell
Phantom
unless it's
Nomad.
Incinerate.
Damage immunity, that's not bad. What do you think of
Yeah,
Mask of Memory? That's your favorite card, isn't it?
I have played a lot of Mask of Memory. It is a Squadron Hawk card only. I've never played that card without Squadron Hawk in my deck.
Ooh,
Maybe
we could play
Squadron Hawk has
Squadron
a
Hawk in this list. Oh,
yeah.
we played
Just
Squadron Hawk.
thinking bodies you don't care about to put auras on, so that if you get 2/4, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Lifelink is surely very bad.
Like I said
Isn't there
before,
better? Aren't there better versions of Lifelink,
well, I mean, the big
like the one you
upside is
can put
that
on your opponent?
well, the big
Turn.
upside is it costs one. So
Yeah.
I think it's the
All
biggest
that
upside.
glitters as a 3 of is interesting. I would have thought you just wanted as many ethereal arms as possible, even when they cost 2.
I
Am I
mentioned this
wrong
when we
about that?
first watched the match, but I really wish there was like Heliod Pilgrim or like Open the Armory, some sort of like toolbox kit where it's like you're
Yeah,
not just like hoping to
the only
draw the right
toolbox
thing.
here is Selesnya Charm, which is
Yeah.
removal or pump or really sadly a creature.
This is also really ambitious mana base. 17 lands, 4 grasslands,
I
4
mean,
blossoming sands.
yeah, why grasslands? Just because of the Sentinel's Eyes? Is that the only reason to play grasslands over
I
a
guess.
duel?
Like I'd rather just play
I
Withered
mean, given
Bastion.
that you have cards that cost 1 of a color,
Why are you
you
worried about
know,
mana
to
if you have
keep.
abundant growth? Because like colors don't seem to be a problem if you're playing abundant growth.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives you 4 extra sources of white, I guess.
Yeah.
So
The
they're playing
shell
like 17 sources of white and 12 sources of green. Wait a minute, they're playing 12 sources of green, only 4 of which is untapped with Glade Cover Scout. Oh God, no, I don't like that.
Yeah, everything can be
I want
refined.
10 forests in this deck.
Because they're probably looking
Oh,
at this mana
you
thing
can
right here
change
where it's like
planes.
so a lot of people are
You
thinking
can.
about like the what mana symbols I have. So they're looking at like the 26 mana in white versus the 21 mana in green. So that's how they got to that conclusion. Is that I need more plains and forests because I have more white symbols in my deck
Yeah,
than
no,
green
but you don't
symbols.
care. You don't need white on turn 1 at all
No, not
for
at all.
anything. And you need green on turn 1 for 8 of your cards.
Maybe you
and
could.
they're your only turn one plays. So I think you want. I would start at 14 forests, 6
Yeah,
plains, and see
actually,
if I can make it work.
I actually
No,
just broke
that
it.
doesn't work. But
I actually just broke this. You could
mm.
actually play favorite hoplite in this list, and it'd probably be better than any other card you could play.
You make an excellent point. Yes. I mean, it turns on their removal, right? Which is,
Sure,
what you're supposed to be
but
turning off.
like this is Penny Dreadful, where everyone plays Tapland on turn one.
But you do have hyena. You do have
Like
hyena
people
on
are
the.
playing Swiftwater Cliffs in their like 18 mana Is It Tempo decks. So so they go like Swiftwater Cliffs, and then you're
I
just
don't
like,
hate it, although I will say that you're really fucking up my mana base now. I need to be able to cast a
oh, we got
one
Wooded
drop on turn one
Bastion.
of
You go
either
like
color.
you go plains, favorite hoplite, Wooded Bastion. It's over. The game is over.
But what is the mana base for that? Like
I don't know.
10 forest, 4 abundant growth, 6 plains, 4 wooded bastion.
Sure. No, you probably play like
Gives
six
you gives
forests.
you 14 sources of each color, and it's pretty easy to make doubles of a color in later turns, so you're not like restricted in that way. And
Yeah,
you're
I'm gonna
playing
think about
20
that.
lands.
Well, now that I'm re-looking at the list more and
But
more, all
it's
the
very hard to play favorite hot play on turn one in
yeah.
that scenario.
Well, here's the way I'm looking at this deck now. All the auras like cost white basically, except for like abundant
Yeah,
growth.
absolutely.
So
That's why
abundant growth is
wooded
probably
bastion
not
probably belongs,
right.
and
So
abundant growth as well on your
I guess
forest.
you have to play abundant growth, but do you?
It seems very good, right? Like it pumps up ethereal armor and all that glitters. It fixes your mana and it lets Glade Scout come down on turn 2 and regenerate immediately. So that's a
Right.
lot of things it's doing for you. So I would say it's probably good. I mean, it's also like a do nothing cantrip in an aggressive deck, but you're not really exactly aggressive, are you? You're trying to build the monster that they cannot cope with rather than kill them as fast as possible. Although the two things are kind of related.
Yeah, I'm almost thinking that like, especially in this build, maybe Cloak is like just too expensive.
The thing about Cloak is that it really does swing the game against the aggressive decks in a way that nothing else does. So you'd have to go up to like 4 lifelink plus maybe something else because, if you can be chumped while they race back or whatever, it's just no good, right? Like if you're playing a creature deck, your guy has to have lifelink or like maybe like flying and vigilance and protection from creatures or something, but like
Yeah, the Spirit
really has to have
Mantle.
lifelink.
Spirit Mantle
Like
is
once it's a
legal, so
9/9
it's like,
lifelinker, you've won against most aggro
uh,
decks, right?
I mean, there is
Maybe
Spirit
not
Mantle that is
quite.
legal, so I think evasion's not really a big deal. But yeah, the lifelink it does just say a lot of things. Armildolo Cloak does, so it just
Yeah,
has a lot
it's
of
like
like text that's pretty good in most scenarios.
I wonder, is it better than the newer one? It's better because it stacks, I guess.
So yeah, multiple instances of lifelink don't matter. So I actually
Yeah.
played a mix of
Although,
it when I
although,
played.
yeah, you probably want the first of the other one, right? Because you don't have to wait for it to trigger to get the life.
Yeah, there's a lot of different
The
like
trigger.
scenarios
So
where
strictly
things are
speaking, you
different.
want the first, whatever the new one's called, and then Armadillo Cloaks from there till the end.
That's what's really dumb about Ethereal Armor. It gives your creature first strike.
Sort
I
of
don't know
vaguely
why.
tempted to try and build this with a mana base that I like, but then I'll be playing Boggles and I might feel shame.
Reed Duke played Boggles, okay, and he made it to the finals of Worlds, only
Reed
losing
Duke,
to Shahar Shanar.
Reed Duke has no opinion about decks apart from his absurd love of bad mid range. But I'm not Reed Duke. If I
we
could
should
play
all
Boggles as well as Reed Duke, I'd
we
play
should
it all
all try
day.
to become Reed Duke. I don't know. I mean,
He is very nice.
no, he's a really nice guy.
I
It's
like that he's sort of earnest and that it's paying off for him. Most people are
yeah,
earnest. It's not always paying off for them, is it?
I guess not. I don't know. Well, that
Well,
was a
everyone's convinced that this World God of Dragon deck that's won 7 tournaments is good, which I guess it obviously is. I really want to know if it's better than my Dragon Crank. I suppose it
I
probably
guess we'll
is, but
find out in the PD 500
Penny
in a
Dreadful
week.
500,
Yeah,
yes,
in a
yeah.
week.
Almost locked to play my one.
I don't know what I'm gonna play. I don't know yet. I can't decide.
I
I have
haven't,
another.
I haven't, I've had very good success with it. I'm like 76% win over many games, which is pretty good for me.
I guess my thing is it's like, what do I want to play for like 8 hours straight? and what can I like
No,
stand?
actually, I've dropped down to 74.3% since I tried a version with Dark Ritual and
Hmm.
Alpha based on the tournament winning decks and went 0-3.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also,
4.
my incredible win rate is like really not promising because I've
Well, the
gone
more
two and
you
two. I've
try
gone
things, the lower it goes, right? It's not really, none
I've
of our measures are exactly a fair measure of how good
this
anybody is. But
well, this is like the sixth tournament in a row this season I've gone two and two in the Swiss. So
two and
everything
two
is like
is my fallback plan. Whenever I have totally shit time at tournament, I just think, well, I'm going to at least go 2 and 2, and I always do.
yeah, exactly. But I'm like incredibly consistent at it. Wait, did I
Well, you
look at
were
my
playing mono blue morph. I don't know how good that deck can really be.
it's not good because I can't beat mono
No,
red.
exactly.
Um no it's I can cheese a lot of wins just because I'm like more experienced to it in it. So I I know the scenario because I pioneered the deck for forever, so I can get a lot of like silly situations and play a lot of like shell game where like I don't people don't know what my morph is. So, but it's too hard to play. It's kind of like
Yeah,
too hard to play, and it's a lot of work for like not a lot of payoff, other than locking out my opponent.
right. That's what I feel like. It's one of those decks where if you play it optimally, you feel very clever, but you probably don't take your win rate much above about 55%.
I don't know.
Whereas, you can play red deck wins and throw the cards out in the order of their mana costs and get higher than that.
I mean, I will say, wait, before I
Like,
say
how
what
do
I'm
you
gonna
keep your
say.
2/2s alive in order to lock up the game is like a horrible puzzle. Really horrible. I wonder if you want like
I
dive down
mean,
things, but you can't really do that because you've
yeah.
got to go long because they're so expensive. So you've got to be a control deck
I
because
mean,
you have to go long.
in the history of this archetype, I'm the only one that's ever won with it, so I don't know what to tell you. But
I
I've
wonder.
also jammed it a bunch,
Wow,
so
Jesus. I wonder. Oh shit! I forgot what I was going to say. Where was your deck list? Bring your deck list
I'll
up
just
again.
put it on stream or you can look at a gatherling. I don't know. I just
Yeah,
played it
this
for
is.
fun because I wanted to play it. Like then that's a lot of PD too, where it's like you just play decks that you want to play because you can because they're cheap. And
Yeah, yeah.
I
Although
didn't.
I tend to go off decks very quickly when when I lose. So
But yeah, like we talked about the one with the red deck. I just want to be like a dog to like aggro decks, which is this deck is. I think like if I had like I said this before, so I'm gonna keep saying
yeah,
it, but
keeping 3 mana 2/2s alive
you know
is just a tricky
this
proposition.
this
Oh,
format.
I remember what my question was.
Oh,
How often or how many times have you fathom seared by returning 2 islands?
like sometimes it probably
And
happens
did you like
like
always lose immediately?
no, it happens maybe like 15% of games where
I
you
mean,
kind of
this
have
is
to do it.
not a deck that wants to pick up 2 lands or that doesn't have a
No,
land in hand, you know? Like,
but sometimes you gotta
it's
do what you gotta
rough.
do.
I imagine you picking up 2 lands with Fathom Seer and conceding a couple of turns
I'm
later.
definitely not winning that part, but honestly, I'm rarely morphing. If I'm morphing a Fathom Seer, that means I'm trying to kill you with it, which you absolutely can do. You absolutely can kill me with tutus and just like turnabouts. It's like turn about your creature, attack for two. Turn about your creature, attack for two.
Yeah,
Like,
Turnabout is a surprisingly powerful magic card. It's got. I mean,
oh
it's very modal, isn't it?
yeah.
I mean, artifact's
So
not much of an
in
option, but
in the first round against I was playing against the eventual winner, the Wargorger Dragon deck. I morphed a Brine Elemental and I had Cloud Post. I made like 4 mana or something like that, and I was just attacking. They had like 3 mana, and their incept they tapped out. They tapped out for like a frantic search. And in response, I turned about it myself, made 7 mana, unmorphed my Brine Elemental, and then I won the next turn. So it does like dumb things like that. That's what turnabout
yeah, yeah,
Cloud Post can
yeah,
kind of do. But like,
yeah. Turnabout Cloud Post is. I tried to make Mono Blue Tron earlier this season, but I looked at old extended lists. I looked at like LSV GP top 8 lists and things, and I put all the same cards in, and I could not make it do anything. Engineered Explosives is missing for like half the decks that I want to make this season. Thirst for Knowledge wants Engineered Explosives as well.
yeah, there are better Cloud Post decks for sure. I think like the green post decks are just way by far better.
Yeah, Silver
Either whether you
Inspire
play whether you
is
play Tooth
good.
and Nail or non Tooth and Nail, I think either way they're fine.
Yeah, if you have Expedition Map and Sylvan Scrying, then you eventually have 12 cloud posts. And once you have 12 of a thing, you don't even need to mulligan to it because you just have it.
Yeah.
And just having cloud post is real good.
Yeah, turn one like four's Grazer Cloud Post is like the most broken start. I'm not. I'm not convinced. I'm
Although,
convinced.
have you played any Cleansing Wildfire this season? It's very satisfying because you can always get it off because they don't have counter spells, and um, it always comes in tapped, so it never does anything before you get to Cleansing Wildfire.
I've
It's
seen.
very satisfying.
I was playing in a league where someone was playing. I think they were mono red. I don't remember. But they played like Darksteel Citadel turn one. Like, okay, I'm playing against Affinity. And then I played my thing, and then like turn to go Mountain, Cleansing Wildfire, my own Darksteel Citadel. And then they drew a card and like Rampant Growth. I was like, wow, that's amazing. I was just like, that's my only Cleansing Wildfire
Crazy
experience.
Bee is claiming to be 80% win rate over 60 matches with mono green posts, which makes me think that it's even more busted than I think it is, and I think it's quite good.
I mean, his Bliss is very good. I don't like saying that a lot, but it's. Let me look. Okay, season 18 archetype. I hope that it's all green posts. Man, I had to resort all of the
Yeah, he's
archetypes.
81.7%.
Yeah, I had to resort all the
Although
archetypes the other day.
it is not however many decks he said. He must be counting multiple seasons.
No, he's just saying this season.
He's only played it 12 times this season, so he's drunk.
Oh well. Wait, I put crazy MTG. That guy doesn't exist. Green post.
What is the remaining deck that you have not made that you want to make? Mine is Gilded Lotus, Nightscape Familiar, Ghostly Flicker, Archaeomancer. 4-card infinite mana, baby. It requires you to have a 5-cost artifact in play.
Honestly, I was really looking at Sprite Dragon decks. Either like fairy based decks or just like tempo based decks. But I've kind of been doing that anyway, so I guess my real answer is just like I started doing like Trinket Mage package decks. So I did that Rogue Trinket Mage deck, which was like silly.
Trinket Mage is a shuffle, that's the important thing.
Exactly.
If you had engineered explosives, I would be in Trinket Maging to the max.
You can get Silent Gravestone, which is really good.
Is it?
Yeah, it shuts down like half the format. It might shut down half the format. I don't know. It shuts down. Okay, it shuts down the slide.
It can't be tapped by Relic Barrier.
Yeah, can't be tapped by Relic Barrier. It shuts down. It shuts down like World Gorger unless I play Repeal. Yeah, it just does a lot. I don't know. Like slide. Like
we haven't seen much Yosei this season.
Oh, Yosei Vat. I've done it a lot. I don't know. I don't think it's that good. I think it's on the same level as like these like cloud posts, like this morph deck that I played today, where it's like it's good if you get to the late game, but getting to the late game is like the question. Like, how do we get that far? Where I'm trying to play a 6-drop dragon. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to do that, but it's like that's the eternal question.
I spent a while looking at Norin the Wary the other day. It's still terrible, and the best thing to do with it is still play it with a bunch of Soul Wardens. You have Soul's Attendant this season.
But
Eternal Scourge, Cling to Dust, Whip of Erebos, Obsidian Ghost Council.
I was also thinking about cloud post or green post decks in general, but like different sort of like, I guess different packages of like Tooth and Nail that I could like reasonably play without playing like things like the
Ogre Battle Driver or whatever.
No, without even playing like non-green spells.
Give your Eldrazi haste.
I was thinking of maybe like, but this is really bad. But I was, because I've done this in like Wild Pair, but I was thinking of just getting like Triskelion plus Nightshade Peddler. No, you get this thing kills your opponent. You get Triskelion plus Nightshade Peddler, but you have to have the Vraska Swarm's Eminence out. So but that makes no sense. That deck makes no sense at all.
I just wish Red wasn't so good, because then I just would have played Infect all season and my life would have been happy, but unfortunately...
Oh, Blighted Agent. That was another card I wanted to play around, or build around. There's some sort of like blue Blighted Agent deck out there, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, maybe it will stay, and maybe we'll get Blazing Shoal, and then...
And then we'll just have the format be turn 2 combos again.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to end this because we're just going to sit here talking all day. But this was fun. Um, I might stream tomorrow. I'm not sure, but I
Yeah,
don't know if you're around
I
tomorrow.
might play tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like 50-50 on playing, but I usually say that. I usually play. But
I
it'd be
usually say that, and then I usually don't play. It
yeah,
depends what happens at work, probably. But it
yeah.
is Friday,
It's
and I am
Friday.
literally
Friday.
alone forever in a
All
small
right.
room, so
But yeah, this is.
might as well, really.
I'm gonna try to
I
put this
did win the
conversation on
only tournament
YouTube.
I've played in the last 2 months.
Yeah, you should probably start playing tournaments.
Yeah, I should. Well, I've got my buy anyway for the PD 500. So
Have you won a tournament this
I
season?
literally played the first tournament in like 2 months, about a week or two ago, and
Oh,
just
you won with the
won.
Dragon
I
Crank
lost
deck.
round one and then won six in a row.
Wow, that's right. I forgot about that. Okay.
The deck is really good. I don't know that my build is as good as this one that's got a lot more wins,
Okay.
but I don't know.
Last,
Interesting.
I guess last little, I guess like question point before you actually leave, because you need to
Mm.
go. Do you think that you won because the World Quarter Dragon Shell is just that strong, or do you just think you won because the deck is good?
Well, I misplay a lot. Like I do things and immediately think, "Oh fuck, no, that's not what I should have done," and I often have to take like a turn extra to win, or I end like whether to play Piranha Marsh early because it gets the tapness out of the way, or late as a way to trigger the Guild Mage without having to attack is an endless pain to decide, and often discarding the wrong things with frantic search and so on. So and also I'm very sure that I don't have the optimal mana base, or even necessarily the optimal number of lands, or any of the like flex slots, or even whether it's correct to be playing Mindcrank at all. And yet, I've got a 76% win rate over however many decks, and I won a tournament the other day. So I feel like Sam Black would turn this into a fucking monster. Or maybe that's what won the tournament today, and maybe that's the monster. But that has lots of owl familiars in it, so I don't know if that can be the case.
I haven't even really looked at your list. I'll just look at it right now, real quick. Um,
Don't look at the recent one, though. I went
no,
03.
I'm not gonna look at
Look
that.
at
I
look
I,
at one
I
of
was
the
gonna
ones.
talk about that. Yeah, I mean, it's like the
Yeah,
same shell of just like, all right, I have this World Gorger. I mean, I like how you're playing Piranha Marsh, but I'm sure people hate it. But
I tried without. I tried with Nephalia Drownyard in that slot, and I tried with the Desert in that slot, and I think they were just worse.
yeah, this
Duress
isn't.
is really, really good.
Yeah,
Spell
pure
Pierce
com.
is very cuttable. I think Latnam's Legacy is the best thing to be doing for 2 mana, but I don't know if you want any at all or four, because it's a shuffle for Brainstorm, and like when you untap and draw 3 cards in a deck that's like a combo deck, you almost always find what you need or something close. So Latnam's Legacy feels really good at times, and then other times like they're curving out on you, and you're thinking, why am I playing shit like Latnam's Legacy on turn 2 as they make their Stormblood Berserker or whatever? Frantic Search is insane. The way I was playing it, the only way to get World War Dragon in the bin was to frantic search it away. That's mostly how my build has been, and that feels like not enough. Like there should be something else. There should be some other way to mill or otherwise get rid of
I
a
mean, you're
dragon.
just saying Al Familiar. I mean, all I'm hearing is like I should play Al Familiar.
Well, yeah. So I played Alpha Familiar and went 03.
Well, you
I
weren't doing
cited
it
that
well
Alpha
enough.
Familiar. Yeah, I mean,
Um,
Shriekhorn in this deck is not as offensive as it is in the other deck because, like Mono Black Renovator, because it's also a kill condition, but it's a whole card. And if I wanted to kill condition this whole card, I can play Altar of the Brood or any shit, like, I don't know. That's not, it still doesn't feel like it does enough. Like, if I mill 9 cards, what's the chance that I mill a World Gordy Dragon 9 cards out of 60? It's not very high. So now I have to play Treasure Cruise. Otherwise, my Streetcorn hasn't. So I play Treasure Cruise, I get the Brainstorm benefit, I get it as a kill condition, and sometimes I mill a dragon, and if not, I use it for Treasure Cruise. I mean, maybe.
it's like
Maybe.
another random thing I was thinking about these World Gorger decks and like what maybe no one is doing is like you guys are just maybe so lucky that no one's just playing like Slaughter Games World Gorger. So what do you do? What do you do after that? Like, I mean,
Well, the
for
thing is,
you, okay, for your deck, you can do things. You have the mind crank nonsense. But like, what would other people do if just
I
they
mean,
just lost World Gorger?
my belief was that World Gorge, like going back to season 2 and other seasons when World Gorge has been a deck, like my belief was because it dies to ultimate price and disenchant and this and that and this, and also takes your all your lands with it, that it's just not a good game 2 or game 3 thing, right?
Yeah, for
That was
sure.
my belief. And so I sort of jammed together 2 combos on the basis that I wanted the other combo post board when they brought in all their graveyard hate, and the best place to store it was actually in the main deck and have, more ways to win. And it's worked so well for me that I'm disinclined to go away from it. But I can see that, some people are having even better results with different World Gorger decks, which makes me think, But it's really difficult. It's like Muddle the Mixture finds like 3 of my 4 combo pieces,
Yeah, I
but
like
also
Muddle
gets 3
here,
mana.
especially in this
So
deck.
I'm
Yeah,
never sure if I want 0 or 4 or something in between. And then sometimes it's good disruption for the way they're trying to kill your dragon. And you can go turn 4, animate dead my dragon, and they can say kill your dragon, and you can say no, you don't kill my dragon. But generally, I think Muddle's pretty bad. Sea Beyond's bad. Latman's Legacy is good. Frantic Search is essential. Running the second combo, I just have no idea. Duress Ponder are great. Brainstorm is good, but it makes you play like either Shriekhorn or Bad River or Latnam's Legacy or Muddle. It's one of these things that just isn't really good enough. So yeah, I don't know.
what if you played Telling Time with Brainstorm?
Telling Time's just really a really bad Magic card. I would play Latnam's Legacy over Telling Time. I'd play the 9th Latnam's Legacy over the first Telling Time.
I don't know. I'm just memeing at this point. Um, but yeah, I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean it's
like,
interesting, isn't it? I mean, they're saying in the chat like 2 mana interaction is bad. You draw infinite cards and so forth. I mean, yes, I guess if you decide that you're going to play 3 or 4 Treasure Cruise in your combo deck, then you have a plan for that kind of scenario, kind of. But like, they're going to play lands. They're playing more lands than you. I don't really know that World Gorge Dragon is like particularly good against Ultimate Price and Mana Leak. Like, it's definitely not hopeless, but it's I mean, if I often picture my enemy as red deck wins or as control deck, and I feel like this deck has any of the configurations of this deck have a good red deck wins matchup probably. So then I start thinking about control decks, but no one actually plays control decks, and there are no control decks, so I don't know why I picture that in my mind's eye. I
yeah, I
do
would.
think that like any him deck is probably pretty good against this. I
Yeah,
will say
I
I've
don't
been
know.
him twice this season with World Gorger Dragon and Animate Dead in my hand amongst 6 or 7 cards, and both times they hit both.
That's
I
him
was
for you.
praying for
That's
the dragon, not aura, dragon, not aura, dragon, not aura, and both times it's happened, they've hit both.
that's him. It's either the best card in the format or the worst card ever.
Oh, it's insanely good. It's very good against my version. And my version really struggles once it's been himmed. I don't really know.
No, you just play more Treasure Cruise or like something like Deep
Like once
Analysis.
you've been
Yes.
himmed, your frantic searches are awful unless they win you the game, and it just all gets very
Yeah.
difficult.
I'm actually more surprised people don't play more like Cruises or like Deep Analysis in their sideboards for like him decks. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
mean the other thing about the one that the version in the tournament that's winning the tournaments is that it also plays reanimate, right? Like so it has like its other combo is reanimate a demon, right?
right.
As well as my other combo is
And typically that demon just gets an animate dead to get the Word Gorger, and then you just start doing stuff.
him is
But
definitely good against my version of the deck. I'm not going to say anything about any others, but like I feel like I think it's very good. Like what all you want to do is reduce them to scrapping around looking for the one remaining animate dead or whatever. Like
yeah, I don't know. Really, this format's
I
and this
actually
is the great
actually
part of the
like
format, really. Is that there's
I
just
I
like so
four
much
I
to do.
4-0'd a Swiss about 3 months ago, which was the second last tournament I played, and I played Marder mid range in the next round, and it was just impossible. You know, like they just had like
Oh, don't get
hymns
the
and removal, and you know,
right.
fairly easily maneuvered to the point where they could play tectonic giants or whatever, and still have up relevant
Right.
cards, and I had nothing in my hand, and it was
Oh, don't get the Mardude
tragic.
excited. Don't get the Mardudes excited. They don't want to
I
hear
think that
that.
deck is like not great, but it was it made me think. Well, fuck. This is what am I
Well,
going to do against this? Like
that's
board into 4 treasure crews and hope for the best. Hope they don't get hymned.
that's the thing about like I guess polarizing cards in general is that like you could just like so you have shells of cards, right? So you have like so if you want to take one shell, this shell for example, you have brainstorm ponder. Let's call that a shell. So you make a combo deck.
Mm.
So you have another shell of like swamps him. That's another shell of a deck where it's like you have
But I
him
mean, the
and then in
thing
turn
about our
three you
mana
do
this season
something.
is you can actually play another color with
Right. So
him.
you have like I guess the most popular one is like Tectonic Giant, him or something like that. Or like Campbell him
The
or
white
like
deck has the best results. Seems
yeah,
very
like
good.
Vindicate him. That's like devastating for most
I
decks, I
just
think.
hate playing at sorcery speed. I build those decks and then I play them for eight
Yeah.
seconds and think I
I
have
guess
no agency here.
I guess the real shell is probably like Duress him Vindicate. I think it's actually the real shell, which I think that deck will beat a lot of decks. I don't like any deck with like Duress him and Vindicate will probably beat like 40% of the field, you know? If you get
Yeah,
it in the right
yeah.
order and do the right things. The problem with him is that it is random, so it's just like it's the most just random card. Like you can hit like irrelevant stuff or their whole deck falls apart.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't want to tap out on turn 3 to vindicate a land against Royal Gorger Dragon very much, I have to say. You're right,
Yeah.
Crazy B. But that isn't nothing. It's not blank.
But I do like
Can
because
matter. Like if you hit the only dual land or the only blue source or something, could be game winning. Vindicate the floor on Vindicate is.
yeah. Like I've tried to do like I played a blue black Delver list because that was really popular early and like duress
Yeah, I tried
D-
this.
like
It did not
duress
work for me.
duress him is like good. Like that will just like
Mm.
steal games and then you have the thing and you just like I don't know. I think it's just about like the supporting cast around duress him and most people play like what mono black just like massive like
Another
discard
in a long line of Delver decks with 6
right.
or less turn 1 Delver sources.
Yeah, for real. No, the mana base was bad.
You really
I
hate Treasure Cruise. 3 Tombstalker, 0 Treasure Cruise in your
well
Ponder
they
Brainstorm
conflict.
Gutaxian
They
Probe
conflict.
deck. Holy shit.
I'm just saying as
That
an
is a
example.
violent
No, I will
position.
agree the mana base was really bad with this, but like the idea was
No,
there.
no Treasure Cruise through 3 Tombstalker.
No, you don't
Jesus
need it.
wept.
You don't really need it. You probably need it. Probably like two and two. If I had to build a deck again, it'd probably be like two Tube Soccer, two Treasure Cruise. But
The trouble with your cycling deck, Crazy B, is that Reanimate is really terrible when you play it fairly against aggro decks. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to
I
take
don't
7
know.
damage to make a 5/5.
Maybe I don't know. Okay, all right. Let's wrap this up because I do have to go.
All right.
So yeah, thanks for stopping by. It was fun. It's a little practice for I guess the BD 500 when we both scrub out and don't make top eight, or you're in there, or you're in the top eight, and then I have to commentate for you.
Live streaming my games
Yeah,
like you
I think
do.
there'll be a lot of
No,
people
I
streaming.
tried that once. It didn't go well.
Yeah, I'll try to work on the write up, or if anyone else wants to work on the write up, feel free, mods or not mods, please. But I probably have
Okay.
infinite time. I probably should just do it. Thank you
Well,
for
I'll
watching.
see
You're
you
watching the
tomorrow.
stream. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for calling in. We should do it again sometime. This was fun. I
Yeah,
think
that's
it's
good.
good. Everyone hates listening to me talk all the time, so I think someone to bounce
That's
off
not
of
true.
is. All right, but I'll try to put this on
All right.
YouTube. So yeah, see
See
you
you
later.
later.
All right, that was the stream. Hope that was fun. That was fun stream. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I have to eat for my WoW raid. I'll try to put this on YouTube. Um, should be fun. Should be. I actually have content finally. So yeah, thanks for watching. Congrats to Dark Pantsu with the World Gorger deck. Busted deck, obviously. Might play tomorrow. 50-50 on tomorrow. If you're not following the stream, follow the stream. But you probably, if you're here, you probably should be following. Probably already following, especially if you're talking. But yeah, thanks for watching. I don't have anyone to raid, but we're just gonna send it off. All right, see ya.